Any questions I can start answer? Today's class should generally be slow, but again we will see. Actually, today's class has a small prerequisite. Might not be too slow. Stop chat. Let's see. Is it possible to de-anonymize transfer on a blockchain detach potential drug dealer? There's this thing called anonymizers, which as the name suggests, or mixers, let you anonymize transactions. One on Ethereum is called Tornado Cash. One on Bitcoin, they're called coin joins. The person who participated in Bitcoin Summer of Code, go to the 100xDev's YouTube channel. He participated in an organization that does exactly this. Solana had one after Tornado Cash got banned. I don't know if it continued at all. And number two, it did not have a lot of volumes to begin with. By which I mean, a mixer only works if you have too many people mixing transactions. Else the purpose of it goes away. It's like a dating application where, only if there are enough people does the application make sense. So I don't know if it ever picked up, but that's a long answer to your question. I enrolled in cohort 2 and due to college work was in classes, now I'm enrolled in cohort 3. I'm currently at week 12 in cohort 2. Looking at the Paytm project, I have an idea of games section can be enrolled in with something. People who send 100 rupees, they will get 1 point which will stack in their account, which they can use to enroll in games like Ludo, Carom, Chess in tournament. People who wins the tournament gets the prize. Makes sense. So poker works a lot like this, right? They have these tournaments that are almost exactly like this. It is a good idea. You should figure out the legality of this. I think these are games of skill, so you should be fine. But getting a payment gateway on board is a pain in the ass when you want to do something like this. So that will be your biggest challenge. Building this is straightforward, especially for a game like Carom actually might not be too easy. Pool and Carom are two games that are very hard to run on a server. This also came in cohort 2 live class. Somewhere you'll see where someone suggested this game and I was like, this is very easy, and then I realized it's not very easy. But poker or maybe some simple card game might be easier. Yesterday I was with this guy who he says, sorry, one more minute then we'll start, right? So these are these apps like Stake and gambling websites, whatever. In front of me 2-3 times he won, dude, and he says I have some algorithm and you code this for me and something. But in front of me he put in like 95,000 rupees and 1 lakh rupees and then withdrew immediately. And he showed me his history and everything. I didn't really believe him. I don't know. He said the games aren't random, which I don't think is the case. I think games are fairly random, and they're not doing anything shady. But he thinks they are doing shady, and he's figured out what the shady thing is, and that's how he's able to beat the game. At least for the last 1-2 weeks, he's been able to do it well. I don't know. I'll do another meeting with him and get back to you guys. Well, if it is actually a strategy, I won't get back to you guys. I'll be busy making money. I'm just kidding, but you get the idea. Yeah, that's what yesterday went like. Cool. Let's open the doc for today. Let me share. Which one is it? This is the one. Now this will be, I think there'll be very disjoint opinions on today's class, by which I mean some are going to find it very easy, some are going to find it very hard. So let me know, and we can go from there. There was a poll below the video. I saw that. Let me share this with you guys first, which was, let's convert this into an offline cohort, which I'm happy to do, and do Fridays we do live classes. Doubt classes. That works. Today we can do a combination of both. I don't think this should take more than an hour to finish. Maybe an hour and a half at max. So last 30 minutes can be a doubt session. And as I said, the things in this are hopefully easy. Last week we were only able to cover the first 3 slides amongst 10. Today the goal is at least we're able to complete all of this. And then for the harder people, there is an assignment. And there is also code that I've deployed for today here. So if you want, you can look at this code. If you already understand this, feel free to jump to the assignments and start solving them. Cool. All right. Let me again paste this in chat for the people who just came. These are the slides for today. Without any further ado, 8:05. Let's start. Before we start, let's do a recap. And if you don't understand some of this, today's class might be a little hard. At least public private keys you should understand. You should understand what are these wallets. Hopefully you have created one of these wallets and use them. Else, feel free to drop off, complete all of these and then come back here. And also there is a prerequisite for today, which is React. I'll try to keep things simple and keep re-explaining for people who don't know React. So I'll try my best to, stay away from as much React jargon as possible and focus on the website. But I would say if you know React, today's class should be easy. If not, it'll be hard. So someone said this in the recent video, okay, the way you are teaching, at least to him, was, like school teachers, which is, I told him to import something which he did not understand. And today also, if you don't know React, you will feel like this. Okay, Harkir is just telling me to do something without explaining the thing underneath, which is true. That will happen if you don't know React very well. So, feel free to drop off or whatever based on that. Week 1, we did the Bitcoin white paper, very high level understanding of decentralization. Why is it needed? How do you create a decentralized currency? Week 2 was encryption, decryption, hashing, ED25519, public and private keys. Something that is good to know, you don't really use after a point as you become an application developer or even a smart contract engineer, if I'm being honest. Don't do this a lot, but it is good to know, which is why we covered this. Then we created a web-based wallet. This was actually, you needed to know React for this. So I would assume the people who created this or even tried to create this learned a little bit about React. This is a great project initially, but no one is going to use your web-based wallet or even mine. Wallets are very scary. You are storing your private key in there. So, usually there are already winners in the market, which in case of Solana has been Phantom and Backpack. Maybe Solfair is a third one. It's very hard to get into that market. Even for Backpack, it was very hard to get in. And, if you look at might have changed now, but initially the number of downloads that Phantom had were 3 million, 5 million, something like that. And Backpack was under 100,000. So it's a very sticky use case. It takes a lot of effort for people to move from one wallet to another, which is why building a wallet in itself is challenging. But building a dApp on top of a wallet or building a decentralized app is something you will eventually do, is something most companies do. Creating a wallet, you can try, but don't try for existing blockchains like Solana or Ethereum. If you want some grant, if you want to build your own project, try creating a wallet for a new blockchain. Sui is a newer blockchain. SEI is a new blockchain. Every other day there's a new blockchain, and they've raised whatever 20 mil to 100 mil. They will require this as their very first project. Over there, you should build a wallet like this. Again, not a web-based wallet, but a wallet like this is what you should try to build. Then we'll understand some Solana jargon. This was week 4. Last week we had 2 videos. Video number 1 that was live, weren't able to cover anything. Video 2 that was offline, that hopefully some of you understood. This was slightly hard and something you need to know before you proceed at all. Today's class might be fine, but next week onwards we'll understand PDAs and you need to know this. So make sure you've gone through the offline video that covers this. I think that's slow paced. This we've done, how to build a web-based wallet. This is what we're doing today, which is building a dApp, which is, most companies, rather than no one's building their own wallet, most companies are building dApps. This is where a lot of value accrues. So we'll understand how to build this. Prerequisite, React is a prerequisite, but we'll try to keep it simple without any further ado. Let's kick things off by first creating a React application. Maybe before that, let me do a quick poll. I will do 2 polls. First poll is how many of you already know React? Do we know React? Basic, very basic, we'll not do too much, but all right. So 75% no, 25% don't. I'll keep it simple, but yes, it'll be a little hard from time to time. And poll number 2, did you understand, if you only vote on this if you have gone through the last video, but did you understand the offline video that covered all the Solana jargon? Do you understand accounts now? Do you understand, well, we didn't cover that, but the things that we did cover. All right, 70%, 60%. Cool. We should talk after the class. Today's class will be fairly simple, but after the class, let's talk and understand how can we, cover a few of those things. Cool. Can we initialize a React project? For the people who don't know this very well, you can go to Replit and do it. For the people who do know it well, quickly create a React application locally. Again, the goal is for us to create a decentralized app. I'll give some context in the next slide, what exactly a decentralized app is and how it connects why are these wallets extensions and how can you create a application or a dApp that uses these wallets under the hood. Before that, for the people who don't know / have React, Node.js locally, don't know how to initialize a React application, that's fine. Just go to Replit and initialize a React application. It's similar to initializing an HTML, CSS, JavaScript application, but does some extra things on top. So click on Create REPL on the top left. And oh, oopsie daisy, I'm out of REPLs. These guys changed their plan or what? Top left, create REPL, select React from this and click on create REPL. For the people who do have React, for the people who don't have React, and for the people who do have or know how to initialize a React project locally, quickly do that. How do you do that? There are various ways. The one that we'll use throughout the cohort would be by using Vite. Vite lets you do a lot of things. It is a React bundler, transpiler, and also lets you initialize this specific CLI lets you initialize React projects locally. That is what we are going to use to initialize our first React project. So npm create Vite at the rate of latest and keep it very simple. Initializer JavaScript project. Don't worry about TypeScript just yet. I'm going to call it React 3 week 5 web 3. You can call it whatever you want. What is the command that I ran on my terminal? I ran npm create Vite at the rate of latest. For the people who do have Node.js installed locally, this will work. For the people who don't have Node.js, go to Replit. What framework should we use? What framework should you use over here? The framework to use is, can you guess? React. What language to use? Select JavaScript for now. Eventually we can get more fancy with TypeScript. So what steps did I follow? npm create Vite at the rate of latest. This is the name of my project. This is the framework, and this is the language that I'm using, which is JavaScript. Let me go to this folder and let me open this in Visual Studio Code. Sorry, what was the folder again? React week 5 web 3. I'm going to open this in Visual Studio Code. There are various ways to open this in Visual Studio Code. For some of you, you can just run code space dot and that should open it up. For me, I'm going to open Visual Studio Code, click on file, open, and open the React project locally on my machine. I have the React project open in Visual Studio Code. The folks in Replit also have something very similar. So you see index.html, you see source app.jsx. The same thing I see locally. I see index.html, I see source app.jsx. So fairly simple projects. There might be some files that are missing here because we use Vite over here. These guys most probably don't use Vite, which is why I see like a index.css and an app.css. Yahan pe you only see app.css. So don't worry too much about it. The file that we will be spending most of our time would be this app.jsx file. The people who know React already know this. The people who don't know React, think of this similar to an index.html file. Ignore all the code above this. Ignore all the code below this. This is where you need to focus. Whatever HTML you write in here is what will get rendered on your page. We will be reaching React eventually in the cohort, the web development cohort. But for the people who don't know React, where do you have to focus again? In your app.jsx file. Click on run. Whatever you write over here, whatever HTML you write over here is what appears over here. Cool. If I write hi there over here in bold, that is what appears over here. So do that. And for the people who have it running locally, just clean up app.jsx. So make sure you have some simple hi there over here. Remove the imports that are not needed. Go to app.css and remove all the CSS. Go to index.css and remove all the CSS. Feel free to keep it as well. It'll just give you some nice styles throughout. But if you want to keep it very raw, then clean up your CSS files. Even for the people on Replit, app.css is already empty, so it doesn't really matter to you. All right. Shall we proceed? Do we have a React project running locally? Maybe to quickly do one more thing before I do a poll. Do you guys know how to start the React project locally? Step 1 is open the terminal. Click on terminal, and new terminal, that should open the terminal, or press Command J, that should also open the terminal. Once this terminal is open, run npm install. Hopefully we understand this from the backend classes, the people who are attending them. Npm install will bring all the dependencies locally to my project. What are dependencies, Harkirath? Whatever is present in this package.json. We covered this last week. Hopefully you understand this. Personally, for me, npm is giving me some troubles, which is why I'm going to run yarn install. For you, npm install might work. If it doesn't work, you can also install yarn locally by running npm install -g yarn. Yarn is another package manager, very similar to npm. So if you want to use yarn just like I had to here, feel free to run this command. For everyone else, just run npm install. For me, I ran yarn install. Hopefully that is clear. That does what? That creates this node modules folder similar to backends. And what is the next command? For you, it might be npm dev. For me, it is going to be yarn dev. For you, it also might be npm run dev. So for most people, npm run dev should work. Even for me, this will most probably work. What is the command that I ran? Npm run dev. And that starts the React project locally for me. How does the React project start on Replit? On Replit, just click on this run button and the React project will start for you. These guys also use Vite only, maybe an older version. Cool. And if I go to localhost :5173 here, I see hi there on the top left. If I type something else in this section, again, where are we focusing? In app.jsx, ignore everything below. Ignore everything below and above. Remove this also if you want. Keep it very simple. Even remove the import app.csx. Keep it fairly simple, and even though this looks like JavaScript because it says function over here, but it is a very weird JavaScript because it has a function which starts with a capital letter and it returns some HTML somehow. This is similar to me writing this div hi there. So this will feel very confusing, but what did I say? Ignore everything below, ignore everything above. Just focus on the HTML over here. Think of this like an HTML file, and whatever you are writing over here is appearing on your website, is appearing on your front end over here. Hi there. If I add some HTML here, be hello, then hello also appears over here in bold. Can we proceed? Let's do a quick poll. Do we understand how to initialize a React project locally before we start to create our decentralized app or a dApp? 91% is decent. I would assume some of these people don't know React, so that is fine. Again, we'll keep the class short. Let's do a doubt session later on. Alrighty. So we have a React project locally, but today we are going to do a lot of Solana stuff. So we should install some Solana dependencies locally. Specifically, this we have installed in the past. Hopefully you remember this at solana/web3.js library in a lot of Node.js projects in the past. Whenever we were creating a key pair, whenever we were signing messages, we used this library. So this we need as a dependency. But along with that, there are a bunch of other dependencies specifically for React that we want to bring to our code base. Harkirath, where can I find all of this? All of this is actually in the Solana wallet adapter. So there is this team called Anza now that do a bunch of things, including maintaining this wallet adapter. And I think they're creating their own Solana client as well. These guys maintain this project called the wallet adapter. This is a very important thing. This is every blockchain has a wallet adapter. There are actually many wallet adapters specifically for Solana. As I said, these guys have created a wallet adapter. Even Jupiter, which is a fairly big company on Solana, has their own wallet adapter. So it's not like there is a single wallet adapter for any blockchain. Jupiter has created their own, they call it Unified Wallet Kit. Anza has one wallet adapter called the Solana wallet adapter. This was the oldest one, which is why, the most popular one, which is why we're using it. But today, some websites, some companies have their own wallet adapters. They don't use any of this. They They look at the code, understand it, and then, bring their own or create their own wallet adapters. But for you, most dApps that you might be creating initially, it's a good idea for you to use this wallet adapter. What does wallet adapter mean, Harkirat? Wallet adapter means there are various wallets that your user can use. Your user can have a backpack wallet. Your user can have a phantom wallet. They might have some third Solana wallet. Wallet adapter, as the name suggests, is if you are building a dApp, if you are building a decentralized app, click over here. They have a very nice demo. Where did I click? I clicked on this link from where I went to this demo over here. If you are creating a website like this, now this is a very weird looking website, doesn't do much. But as you can see, they have a select wallet button. If I click on this, it picks up all the wallets that I have. It says you have the Brave wallet. So Brave by default, they also went to the Web3 market for a bit. I think they don't do much anymore, but you can create a wallet natively in Brave. Phantom, as I said, is, one of the popular wallets. Backpack is a wallet. There are many other, wallets that are available. Don't worry about what this burner wallet is right now. I can select one of these wallets. When I do, that wallet pops up automatically. And that wallet asks, Anza.io wants to sign. So ignore this specific step for now. And notice everything on the left changes. A lot of things happened in this demo of this wallet adapter. What happened? There were a bunch of buttons over here. When I clicked on that button, a model popped up. When I selected one of my wallets, that wallet connected to this website. What happened? This wallet is now connected to this website. Where is my private key? Does this website have access to my private key? It does not. The wallet has my private key. Phantom has my private key. I have not shared my private key with this website, but this website is connected to the wallet. If the website wants, they can request to sign a transaction. They can request. I have a ETH wallet opened here. Oh, I don't have a Sol wallet here. Let me show you the same thing in another browser where I do have a Solana wallet. This is connected to DevNet. 1 second. All right. I opened the same thing in a different browser. Here, if I open Phantom, this is my wallet. Let me open one which has some balance. I think I don't have any balance in anyone anymore. I sent all the money I had to someone today. Yeah, I don't have any money in any of these wallets. But let's say this did have, let's say 1 Sol. Where is my private key stored? Phantom. Who can hack my private key? Phantom can. The developers at Phantom, if they want to do something weird, they can hack my private key, take all of my funds. They have access to my private key. If I click on settings, I can go to, this account. I can click on show private key. It will show my private key. So Phantom, at least on this front end, has access to my private key. But does this website have access to my private key? The answer is no. I can select wallet. I can click on Phantom. Phantom still has my private key, and this guy can request Phantom for some funds. It can request Phantom, I want to debit 1 Sol from this account. Would you let me? And then the user gets this approval pop-up. Now this approval pop-up says that this dApp could be malicious. So, proceed anyway for now. And then it asks me to confirm a transaction. I did. It says transaction signature valid, even though this will not succeed because I don't have any Solana in my wallet. But could you see a random website can ask for approval from my wallet? It can ask, Harkirat kuch kharidna chahta hai. This website could be an e-commerce website. On that e-commerce website, if you want to do anything with the user's wallet, you can ask the user for approval. You cannot directly debit their Phantom. Even though the user connected, if this button said buy $100 of keyboard, you can't simply cut $100 from their Phantom. You can request Phantom कि यार उनको pop-up दिखा के approval ले लो. Phantom will show you here if they have the right transaction parsing. I repeat, we will eventually get to what transaction parsing is. But Phantom, Backpack, any good wallet would show you कि यार you are signing a transaction which says where you're debiting 100 Sol or 1 Sol. Do you want to do it? And if you click on confirm over here, and here we're not doing much, but if this specific transaction was sending someone Sol, we will build that website today. Then it will show you, are you sure you want to send 1 Sol to someone? If you confirm, तब जाके यहाँ से 1 Sol will be debited. So to recap, what is a wallet? The thing that stores your code. What is this website? It's called a dApp or a decentralized app because it can ask your wallet to debit some money. And what is the wallet adapter? The wallet adapter is the library that gives you all of these functions out of the box. It gives you a very nice button like this that you can, in one line of code, add to your website. And then you can ask the user to, connect their wallet. You can ask the user to sign a transaction, so on and so forth. So that is the purpose of a wallet adapter. That is why it is called a wallet adapter, because it works with various wallets. As long as these wallets follow some set of rules, it will be able to detect that this user has, Phantom, Brave, and Backpack. And once the wallet is connected, you can request that wallet to do a bunch of things. Any questions related to this? Can we proceed? Do we understand the difference between a wallet, a dApp, and a wallet adapter? I repeat, we need to understand 3 things. Okay, there is one thing called the wallet. Then there is this thing called the dApp, which is what we'll be building. And then there is the wallet adapter. Do we understand all 3 of this? Let me do a poll. We don't understand this. That is totally fine. We will look at Q&A and try to answer some questions before we proceed. Let's see. How do wallet adapter knows we have an account or not? The wallet adapter doesn't know you have an account or not. The wallet adapter knows that you have 2 wallets over here, or you have 3 wallets over here. How does it know that? Because these wallets follow a certain format. What these wallets do is they inject code in every website. I repeat, if you ever create your own wallet like this in the future, if you ever want to compete with Backpack or Phantom, want to create your own extension wallet, not a web-based wallet, a proper wallet, then you will write the code that will, inject some global variable like window.backpack or window.phantom. You will write code कि यार जब भी बंदा मेरी extension डाल लेगा ना, whenever they install your extension, let's say it's called the Kirat extension, then they will have a window.kirat object. That extension will inject some code over here. And that is how the wallet adapter knows. It basically iterates over every key on this window object and checks which one of these looks like a wallet. And जो उसको दिख जाता है कि this looks like a wallet, it then shows it over here. So you don't have to do anything extra. If you tomorrow create your own wallet, as long as you can get the users to sign up on that wallet, it will automatically show up in this list. As long as your wallet does the right things, it injects the right things over here, then your Kirat wallet will automatically appear over here. That is the whole point of a wallet adapter. It is like a payment gateway aggregator, if you get the analogy. Okay, wouldn't it be nice? Chalo chodo, let's not go there. But the wallet adapter, or specifically a wallet, all it has to do, one of the biggest thing that a wallet does, if you're ever writing wallet code, is inject code on every website. Every website that I open, यहाँ पे ना Backpack and Phantom inject some code over here, similar to this website. That code creates a global object on this window parameter, or this window object, where it creates a key, and the wallet adapter is just checking कि कौन से wallets, which one of these keys follows a certain format, and that's how it knows कि this is a wallet, this is a wallet. Let me answer a few more questions. What is a dApp? A dApp stands for a decentralized app. That's what a dApp is. What does it mean really? It means that any website which will ask for approvals from these wallets. If there is ever a website which has a button that says connect wallet, once you connect one of these wallets, it lets you buy or sell something. That is what is called a dApp. Let's do a quick experiment. Which one of these is a dApp and which one of these isn't a dApp? Is Amazon a dApp? No. Amazon does not let you pay via these wallets. It doesn't have any code that lets you, withdraw money from someone's wallet. Is Flipkart one? No. Is Twitter one? Not yet. Facebook? No. Most websites aren't. But what website is a dApp? OpenSea, if you have heard of it, is a dApp on Ethereum. Magic Eden is a dApp on Solana or ETH also. Tensor is a dApp on Solana. Harkirat, what does OpenSea let you do? It lets you buy NFTs. Harkirat, what are NFTs? Let's not go there. It just lets you buy something with your money. If you ever have money in your Phantom, you want to do something with it, OpenSea will let you buy it. Magic Eden would let you buy something. Tensor would let you buy something. Jupiter, that I showed a while back, that is a dApp. It lets you swap Sol for USDC. These are all dApps. Let me show you one of these. Let me quickly go to tensor.trade. And you will see it had a connect wallet button. It automatically connected for me. Let me disconnect. But it also has a connect wallet button. Whenever I go to tensor.trade, it says, yaar, pehle wallet connect kar lo. You are a rich person, you have multiple wallets. Please connect one of these wallets. तभी तो तुम यहाँ पे कुछ कर पाओगे. Only then will you be able to buy Mad Lads or buy Peppermint, buy any one of these NFTs. Only if you have a wallet. If you don't have a wallet, then there is no point coming to a dApp, a decentralized app, because the whole point of this is to make you spend some money, or make you, let's say, spend 59 Sol to buy this Mad Lad NFT. So if you want to make the user spend some money, that money needs to be debited from somewhere. In this case, these are the wallets from which it can be debited. That is what a dApp is. Q&A, I'll answer for 5 more minutes, then we'll proceed. Because iske baad it's a lot of coding and trying to create our own dApp. The Notion doc hasn't been loading for the past 10 minutes. You just have to keep refreshing. I don't think I can help you too much there. Explain adapter. Adapter ka matlab wahi hai. The point of an adapter is, or the reason it's called an adapter is because it adapts to every wallet. It is very generic. Kal ko, if there is a new wallet installed over here, it will automatically show it over here. It lets you connect to a wallet, and hence it is called a wallet adapter. What are the 3 terms we had to learn about? We had to learn about wallet. That to hopefully we understand. Anything that stores your private key, which in this case is Phantom and Backpack. These are what are called wallets. Have we created our own wallets in the past? Yes. We created the web-based wallet as an assignment from time to time. But those aren't utilized usually. Any person who has money in crypto today uses wallets like these. They don't use a web-based wallet. So most of the times when you're creating an application and asking users to pay for something, you are asking from extensions like these and not a web-based wallet. What is a dApp? Any app that wants to debit some money from here, that wants to use these funds of yours, is what's called a decentralized app. Any website that when you open, you see a connect wallet button and lets you do something with your funds is called a dApp. What is a wallet adapter? A wallet adapter lets a dApp connect to a wallet. It lets a dApp ask for approval from time to time. For example, if I go to Uniswap, if you've heard of Uniswap is also a dApp. If I open this dApp over here, it first asks me to connect. Let's say I have MetaMask over here, which is MetaMask is just the same thing on Ethereum. It is a Ethereum based wallet, one of the first wallets that existed. I open MetaMask, I connect. I have connected my Ethereum wallet, which has 10.8 ETH to this website. What if I want to sell 1 ETH for some USDC? I want to convert some Ethereum into USDC. So it says, press this button and we will do this swap for you. When I click on confirm swap, what happens? MetaMask pop-up shows up. MetaMask asks, are you willing to send 1 USDC for 2453 1 ETH for 2453 USDC? It is showing me the transaction signature. It is doing the transaction parsing. Ye website, even though this website says it will swap my 1 ETH for USDC, MetaMask reconfirms this. The wallet reconfirms this. It checks the transaction. It tells you, ye karne wale ho aap? Are you sure you want to do this? If I click on confirm, then this dApp will facilitate this transaction. This wallet will sign the transaction. Ye dApp is going to send a transaction to this guy. This guy is going to sign the transaction and send it to the blockchain. That is what a dApp does. That is what a wallet does. What does a dApp do? Asks a wallet for approval for something. What does a wallet do? Asks the user for approval. If the user clicks on confirm, then the wallet will, using your private key, because aapki private key to yahin pe stored hai. Your private key is stored over here. So these guys can sign a transaction on your behalf. They are just asking you, confirm kar do. If you confirm, They send the transaction on the blockchain. My 1 ETH would get converted to 2400 USDC. Do we now understand the difference between all three? Maybe this example was a little more useful. What is a dApp? Uniswap. What is a wallet? MetaMask. What is a wallet adapter? That lets this dApp connect to that wallet. Okay, great. We understand this. What is the goal for today? We want to create a dApp of our own. Our dApp won't do much. Eventually we'll get to dApps that can do, such fancy things. We'll try to create something like Uniswap. But today we are creating at least an application that lets you ask for approval from this wallets. Ask the user for some, debit their account or, do something with their wallet. Uske liye we initialized a React project locally. And now we're going to do some basic things. Before we do those things, I wanted to share, on Solana, if you ever want to create a dApp, it is a good idea for you to use a wallet adapter. That wallet adapter will, handle all the logic of you to connect to these wallets. Can you create one on your own? Yes, you can. Are there many types of wallet adapters? There are many libraries. You can choose any one of these. This is the most oldest one, which is why it's probably a good idea for you to use it. But feel free to use the Jupyter wallet adapter. I can create a dedicated video on that as well. What will change? The only thing that will change is how the pop-up shows. Hamare yahan pe pop-up looks something like this. If you use the Jupyter ka wallet adapter, the pop-up will look slightly different. Let's try a demo of that. Jup AG wallet adapter. If you use that one, then connect wallet button would open a pop-up like this. So only the UI changes. Under the hood, they are all doing the same thing. Feel free to pick any one of them. To use this one in your React project, bring these dependencies locally to your code. What are the dependencies? एक तो अपनी common वाली है at solana/web3.js, and the other ones are all dependencies of this wallet adapter project. Wallet adapter project has been built in a generic way. It has a base adapter that probably works with Next.js, with React, with everything. And all two of these libraries are only specific to React. So if you React में wallet adapter डाल रहे हो, you will have to introduce these two. If you are building a wallet adapter on Svelte, let's say, or raw HTML, then you don't need both of these. These probably have the React components that actually show the pop-up things like these. And this also does something. Bring these dependencies locally to your project. When we reach React, you will see we bring many such dependencies to our project. For example, when we reach React, we will bring Tailwind to our project. Some person added calendar to app.100xsteps.com. If you go to app.100xsteps.com/calendar, you will see a calendar view like this. There are no events here yet. We'll add them. But this is also an external dependency that someone brought. They brought, React-calendar to their code base. So whatever you want to do in React, there is probably a library for it. This is how you bring that library to your code base by running npm install and then that specific dependency. Make sure you run this command. For the Replit folks, what do you have to do? The same thing over here. Go to your shell or your terminal over here. Click on stop. Go to the shell and paste these commands. Yarn, add, and then all of these. You can also run npm install all of these dependencies. Great, this is installed for me. Step 1 is done. We have installed the adapter. Have we used it yet? We haven't. Let's start to use the wallet adapter next. Things to do. When you create a dApp, you do one of these three things, if I'm being honest. First one is just an example for you to show. But these are the three things. Usually you do these two things. When you create a dApp, whenever you create your own real dApp, just say Uniswap, Magic Eden, Tensor, then you will do one of these two things from the wallet adapter. You will use the wallet adapter for this or for this. You rarely use it to request airdrops. A production dApp can anyways not request for airdrops because I hope you already know this. Airdrops only happen on DevNet. I can't ask for free Solana on mainnet on the production Solana blockchain. If you don't understand this, go to the last video of week 4. Requesting airdrop is something we are just doing to test things out, to create our very first dApp. But usually when you create a real dApp, this is what you will be doing 99% of the time. Sending a transaction. This is exactly what Uniswap did. When I went to Uniswap and created that specific swap for 1 ETH to whatever USDC, The thing that Uniswap did when I clicked on this confirm button is it requested for a transaction to happen. It told the wallet, yaar, I want to do a transaction. I actually want to debit some Ethereum, credit some USDC. That is what most of the times you will be doing in a dApp. But we are going to cover 4 use cases today. Sending a transaction is something we will cover. Requesting airdrop just to test things out, we will cover. Showing the balances. That happened on Tensor, if you remember. If I go to tensor.trade, on the top right, it shows me that I have 0 Solana over here. So that is one thing you might want to do in your website as well. Show them their balance. And then signing a message, we will get to what this is and what this means with a very nice example. Let's kick things off with the first one. Requesting an airdrop. Now we need to write some React code. So the people who don't know React, you'll have to bear with me a little bit. The goal is to build something like this. This was the very first assignment I gave in one of my, Solana YouTube videos, which was creating a faucet. What is a faucet? It is a website where you can come and request for airdrops. I repeat, a faucet is a website where you can come and request for airdrops. Harkiyat, what do you mean by request for airdrop? I mean ki if you are on DevNet, I repeat, let me open this in Google Chrome. If you are on DevNet, how do you go to DevNet on Phantom? Click on the account on the top left. Click on settings over here. Turn on developer settings. Testnet mode on. Turn this on. What does this do? It connects your Solana to Solana DevNet. What is Solana DevNet? It is a small blockchain that runs where a lot of development stuff happens. That is why it's called DevNet. And यहाँ पे you can request for airdrops. कि यार मेरे को थोड़ा Solana चाहिए. I don't have any Solana in this wallet right now. I repeat, this wallet has 0 Solana on DevNet, on the test blockchain. Again, week 4 covers this very well, but there is one very big Solana blockchain that's called mainnet. That is the real blockchain. It has a bunch of miners that do a lot of work all day to secure the network. This is Solana mainnet. Then there is a test blockchain that runs independently, which is called DevNet. And as the name suggests, this DevNet blockchain you can do a bunch of shady things like requesting for some Solana. What is the purpose of the DevNet blockchain? For you to be able to test your application. So tabhi you can request for some Solana over there. What are we creating today? We are creating a faucet. Faucet kya hota hai? Nalka. It's a tap from which you can ask for airdrop. That is why it is called a faucet. How can I ask for airdrops over here? Go to this website, Sol Faucet. Paste your Solana address over here. EG4. This is my Solana address. I am going to paste it over here. And I ask it, yaar, airdrop 1 Sol to me on DevNet. I click on this. And it says, I've requested too many airdrops. I have to wait for 24 hours. Let me try on a different faucet. There are many available. I don't think I've requested on this wallet, but you never know. Let me go to solfaucet.togatech.org. Let me paste my wallet address. Let me do the CAPTCHA. Please click on objects that does not repeat. TV. अरे crown तो repeat होगा. Claim. Let's see. Claim of this much Sol successful. Your pending payout. This thing, please wait a few minutes to receive it. Let's see. Was I able to receive some Solana? Not yet. We'll wait for another 30 seconds. If not, we will create our own. Yeah, I haven't received it. Let's try to create our own. None of these websites work. This is for a good reason, on Solana, on most blockchains, people try to capture all the DevNet Sol. What happens is from time to time, they release a lot of DevNet Sol ke airdrop kar lo, and some single wallet, takes all of them just for fun. So which is why, airdropping on the Solana DevNet, from time to time, it runs out of DevNet Sol, which is why it's so protected. Let's try to create our own and let's see if that works. These faucets should also work for some of you. For me, it's not working. I don't think I've requested too much, airdrop, which is why it's rate limiting me, but I don't know. Cool. Let's try to create our own faucet. Do we understand what we are creating? We want to have a connect button over here. If you look at the screenshot, what did it look like? We want to have a connect button. User should be able to connect to a wallet. User should be able to write the amount. Click on this request airdrop button. It should automatically reach their wallet. We need to read their public key and not ask for public key as the input. ये extra चीज कर रहे हैं हम. What does Sol Faucet do? It asks you for two things. Give me the Solana address. Give me the amount you want to airdrop. What are we going to do? Just give me the amount. ये तो मैं खुद ही उठा लूंगा from the wallet. The public key, our application will automatically pick up from the wallet. Only the amount we need the user to put. Do we understand what we are building? %. Let's build it. Let me finish this, then I'll do questions. Felt like this should be fairly easy. All right. The way to request for airdrop, and I don't see the code over here. I thought it was there. It's not. Here is where, you need to know two things in React. Number one is the context API. I repeat, you need to know about the context API in React. If you've ever used it, that's it. This is the only complicated bit. And if you don't know the context API, there are some parts that you can use as a black box for now. ये मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा है, पर चलो, I will do it because Harkirat is asking me to do it. But if you know the context API, then it should be straightforward. You can find the steps to follow here as well. I forgot to put them in the slides, so let's just follow them from here. I'll eventually add them to the slides as well. Where am I following the steps from? From the official. From the official wallet adapter docs. So let me paste this in chat as well. Try going over here. What does the project say? Modular TypeScript wallet adapter and components for the Solana applications. Let's go to the TypeScript docs. Very similar to JavaScript docs. Don't worry too much about your TypeScript hai ye to. Click on TypeScript docs. At Solana, ये तो पूरा ही वो है. There should be better docs. Let's see. There you go. And click on for Solana apps. Step 1. I'll wait for a second. I'll also paste this in chat in case anyone wants it. This is what you have to follow. What does it say? Wallet adapter for Solana. Number 1, install these dependencies. We already have these dependencies. Number 2, setup. This is the part that requires a little bit of understanding of the context API. This context API that I'm talking about, it lets you basically send some of your data through your React application. Now, those who don't know React, don't worry about any of this. Use a lot of this as a black box. For the people who do know React but don't know the context API, your state variables that you create using the useState hook, you pass them down as props. To avoid that, you use the context API. We will get to this when we get to this. So don't worry too much about this syntax. Think of these as HTML tags for now. And whenever we reach React, specifically when we reach the context API, we will create some of these contexts. We will use some of these contexts. We will understand how the context API gets away from something called prop drilling. But if you want to read about it yourself, the things to learn are context API, prop drilling, and providers. Feel free to read about these three in case you don't know React yet. What does the docs say? They say, this is how you have to write some of your code now. Now, यही मैं वो कह रहा हूँ कि people who don't know React, this will feel very complicated. Which is, number 1, we are importing a lot of things at the top of our component. I repeat, on the top of our component, we are importing a lot of things. That is step 1. Harkirat, what is my component? app.jsx. ये जो app.jsx है, इसके top पे I am importing some components from the wallet library, the wallet adapter library. specifically all of these. Let's copy this. Let's paste this over here. There is one CSS file and a bunch of other things. This is similar to const fs equal to require fs. Only number one, it uses the import syntax. It's something like this: import fs from fs, or if you remember from last week, import express from express. It does not use the require syntax. It is importing some things from some external libraries. Some things it is importing from React. Other things it is importing from at Solana/wallet adapter React, at Solana/wallet adapter wallets. So it's just bringing a lot of dependencies to your code base. That does nothing, in the real HTML. ये तो तुम्हारा real HTML है. I said focus on this, ignore everything above and below. This we haven't touched yet. We have only introduced a bunch of imports. Now we are going to wrap our HTML. I repeat, we are going to wrap our HTML with a bunch of providers. यहाँ पे the first jargon comes in. What was the jargon? The jargon was called providers. We are going to wrap our application inside some providers. What that is, we will get to when we reach React. What are the three providers we are wrapping our application inside? A connection provider, a wallet provider, and a wallet model provider. ये तीन, think of them as HTML tags. Rather than putting a div and a /div, rather than wrapping my app inside a div, I am wrapping my app inside a connection provider, then a wallet provider, then a wallet model provider. ठीक है? Rather than तीन div डालने की जगह, I've put these three components. What are components? Don't worry about them. And then I also have to close them to the last three lines of code over here. Do we understand this? I'll do a poll in a second. Let me recap everything. We are writing some React code. React has this jargon that you will understand eventually, which is this context API that gets rid of something called prop drilling, that uses something called providers. Eventually, we will create these providers ourselves. हम खुद के ये भी बनाएंगे. We will create our own connection provider. But today, what are we doing? We are using the providers. How do you use a provider? By wrapping your app inside it. मैंने अपनी जो app है, the full, this is my real app, right? This is where we'll be writing some code. I have wrapped this app inside three providers. Why have we done it? Because this will provide you a connection object through your application. This will provide you a wallet object through your application. This will provide you a model. So usually whenever you create these context APIs, you do it because you want to provide something in your application. That is why we had to do this. But let's do a poll and understand. Thoda breathe in, breathe out. Maybe one more thing before we do a poll is, there is some code written over here, which is also very complicated, but it can be trimmed down to, something much simpler. So feel free to ignore a lot of this code. The code that we are going to write is, we need these two variables, an endpoint and wallets. Wallets ko to just replace with an empty array. I repeat, replace wallets with an empty array. Harkirat, when I went to a website, when I went to this, it showed me a list of wallets. It showed me Phantom, it showed me MetaMask. Yahan pe you're saying wallet is empty array. I'm saying wallet is empty array because this will automatically detect our wallets. There are some wallets that don't follow the wallet standard. उन केस में आपको यहाँ डालना पड़ता है. There are some wallets जो follow ही नहीं करते wallet standard. Them you have to specify over here, yes, Phantom, या backpack. But most of these wallets that we are working with, they already follow the wallet standard. तो आपको explicitly you don't have to give them. That is why this is an empty array. And endpoint, can you guess what this is? The RPC endpoint. What are the RPC endpoints we have used until now? api.devnet.solana.com, api.mainnet-beta.solana.com. Connection provider will provide you a connection to the blockchain. This is the RPC URL that it will use for that connection. You can, how can you get these RPC URLs? You can either use the default Solana one, or you can get your own. We will be getting our own eventually because यहाँ पे I won't be able to airdrop. This will most probably not let me airdrop, which is why we will eventually replace this with our own RPC URL. Do you remember how to create your own RPC URL. Do you remember using Alchemy in the past to do it? The same thing we will do. But before we get there, do we understand this slightly trimmed down version of this, example? This example had a, sorry about that, very big code over here in React. We trimmed it down a little bit. Specifically, ये सारा हमने हटा दिया. We removed all of this. We added 3 providers. We put some imports on the top. Do we understand this? And if not, that is totally fine. And if you do understand this very well, quickly sprint through the slides and then finally, finish it off with the final assignments. Okay. 77% understand it. Let me do a 3-minute Q&A before we finish our airdrop application. Then I'm happy to do more Q&A. But let me finish at least one so people can, start to figure out the other ones themselves. Let's see what the questions say. Difference between DevNet and testnet. Testnet is even worse. Just staging, development, prod. Testnet is for full testing. Staging is slightly more production. You first release something to testnet, then to DevNet, then to prod. Similar to the 3 environments that you usually see. From where are you copying the React code? It is this right here. Let me paste this in chat. This is the official documentation of the wallet adapter. When we pay for something in the browser sends a notification for payment confirmation to Google Pay or Paytm. This is related to this. It is different. You are right, but that happens over the network. I request for approval on UPI here. It reaches my phone through the internet. This happens directly over here. This approval that is coming up is happening from this browser to the Phantom. Wo over the internet hota hai. But yes, they are very similar. These dApps should have access to the extension, right? Every extension has access to inject code in a dApp. I repeat, every extension, whenever you install, you shouldn't install extensions. There are so many extensions that are free because they read their data, your data, and sell it. If you install an extension, you should be very sure because these extensions can read through your code. They can also inject something in your website. So Phantom and Backpack inject something here. That is how, the wallet connection happens. Explain what's in return. Someone asked, and let me recap the whole thing here. I will explain what is in return very soon. Explain the import submit. Please provide code that you have written in VS Code. All of this code is present in the final repository for today. You will find it on the first slide. If you go to the very first slide, wallet adapter, you will find the code here. 100x devs code 3/week 5 web 3. If I go to source/app.jsx here also you will see I am importing a few things at the top. I'm doing some, I've done something different over here. Feel free to not use this and directly hard code the endpoint over here, just like I did. But baki the code is present over here. It has some extra things after it. This is all the code that we will be writing today, but it uses these 3 context APIs, All right. Cool. One more minute before we proceed. If you get a parser error in NPM dependencies, you will have to debug that. Most probably, if it happens using NPM, try using yarn. If it happens using yarn, try using PNPM. Most probably it will work for you if you use PNPM. What does the wallet model provider do? My guess is, I haven't read through its code, but my guess is jo model pop-up hota hai, the model that pops up when I click on, whatever. When I click on connect over here, let me disconnect really quickly. When I click on connect over here, the model that pops up, some of the data in here is provided by the wallet model provider. Let me recap everything. Let me make this code slightly more, readable. Whenever we create React applications, even in the future, for example, I said someone added calendar to app.100xdevs.com. They did not write all of this front end. This is very complicated to write, this day, agenda, month, right? So they used an external library. So they also did something like this: import calendar from react-calendar, and then use this calendar component over here. Just like there are HTML code that I can write over here, I can use what are called React components So whoever added calendar to app.100xdevs.com imported this calendar from an external library. Similarly, today, we are importing some things from these external libraries. Specifically, the things that we have imported include connection provider, wallet provider, and wallet model provider. These two are used for providing. What is providing, Harkirat? Very soon we are coming to what is providing. But this provides you with a connection object. This provides you with a wallet object. And this even I don't know, but most probably it provides some data to the when a model pops up. That is what these three does. These three do. What does providing mean, Harkirat? Let's get to that next. Maybe these three become more clear when we see the use of a connection object, when we see the use of a wallet object. So let's create our very first component, the airdrop component. आपको मैं अभी के लिए बस इतना कहूँगा कि try to reach this code locally. Try to make sure this code works for you locally. In the worst case, copy it from here, copy it from GitHub that I showed you a while back. All of this code is present here. This part is a little different, but this will also work. Don't worry about use memo or this wallet adapter.devnet. Feel free to remove these two lines as well and simply hard code the wallet over here. Okay. Let me paste this in chat in case you weren't able to follow. Cool. Let's create our very first component. Here comes another jargon in React. Create a new file here. Call it airdrop.jsx. For the people who don't know, components in React are very similar to creating your own HTML tag. Okay? A component in React is similar to creating your own HTML tag. That is what we are going to do right now. We are going to create our own HTML tag. Okay? What are we creating? Our own HTML tag called airdrop. How do you create your own HTML tag in React? It is just a function under the hood. Just like in app.jsx, app was a function. Similarly in airdrop.jsx, airdrop is a function from which we return some HTML. Hi from airdrop. This part is going to be very weird for people who don't know React and very simple for people who do know React. But this code over here in airdrop.jsx exports a function called airdrop, and this function is similar to an HTML tag. I can use this function in app.jsx. I can at the top of app.jsx write import airdrop from /airdrop. यहाँ से I exported a component. यहाँ पे I am importing the component. And rather than writing my HTML like this, I can write this as well. But let me also paste my airdrop HTML component. Just like you can write span and then /span, just like you can write br tag and then /br. You can write airdrop and /airdrop. This is a custom HTML component. I have created my own HTML component or my own HTML tag that returns under the hood some normal HTML. I repeat, I have created my own HTML tag. It returns normal HTML. I can use it over here. Now, if I look at my website, I repeat, if I now look at my website, how can I look at my website? I first have to run npm run dev or whatever. npm run dev. Go to the website. I see hi there hello, which is something we had over here. I see this HTML tag over here. I also see hi from airdrop. अब मैंने यहाँ पे तो नहीं लिखा है. I haven't written hi from airdrop here. So how is hi from airdrop coming? It is coming from this other component which has hi from airdrop inside. So what have I done in this section to confuse all the people who don't know React is created my own React component. This is something you will do a lot eventually when we reach React. And this component for now just returns hi there. I want this to return an input box. Amount, something like this. I want this to return an input box and a button. This is what I wanted it to return, because this is what we're trying to create, right? What is the goal for the first assignment? The goal for the first assignment is to create a airdropping website. Rather than writing these two things over here, यहाँ पे भी लिख सकता था, but just to keep the logic separate, and for one more reason, which let's not go into what that reason is, I have separated this into a different component. Website थोड़ी बनी बनी लग रही है. Looks like my website is sort of looks right. I have written a React website that does this. It doesn't yet ask for approval. It doesn't yet airdrop anything. But do we understand this much? Little bit. For the non-React folks, for the React folks, I know you already understand. Okay, we understand this. अब इसकी functionality खत्म की जाए. Let's finish its functionality. What do we want? We want to build something like this. We number one to want a connect button, bhai. Just like every dApp has a connect button, we want this. Thankfully, this code is provided to us very well. By whom? By the wallet adapter library. They provide you with a connect button. It's called the wallet connect button. Just how we created the airdrop component, they have created the wallet connect button component. इसको डाल दो top पे आपकी website पे. And you have the wallet connect button appearing on the website. Now, if I go to the website, can you see a connect button? It is disabled for some reason, but do you see it? We will debug why it is disabled. Do we see a connect button? We do, Harkirat. साथ में add a wallet disconnect button. Add a wallet disconnect button right below it. You see a connect button, you see a disconnect button. I don't know why it's not connecting. Let's go to Brave. I'll have to debug for a second. For some of you, it might already be working. I might have missed something in the imports. Let's see. Connection provider, api.devnet.solana.com. Wallet provider, wallet says empty. This thing right here. Sorry guys, debug time. I'm sure some of you already know. Let me open chat if someone already knows what I'm missing. What am I missing? Why are the connect buttons disabled for me? Wallet MUI button also. Oh, I'm using the wrong component. Let's see. No, I don't think so. Wallet MUI button makes sense if you are using MUI. We are not. Oh, wallet multi button. Oh, that makes sense. Am I using the wrong component? That is why you don't guess component names. Let's go to our code. And indeed, we use wallet multi button and not wallet connect button. Disconnect button is fine, but the right button is wallet multi button. My bad. I just, trusted my own memory a little bit more. What button do you have to use? The button that you have to use is wallet multi button. Thank you there. And now if you look at the website, it has a connect button, it has a disconnect button. Did we have to write any of this code? No. We use the Solana wallet adapter library. It will do all the magic for us. It will show a pop-up on my website. I can select Phantom over here. And then if I want, I can disconnect, select wallet, Phantom, disconnect, select wallet. It still is a little shady on my side. Ideally, when I connect a wallet, it should show me the wallet, this thing over here, address. Oh, I'm connected to DevNet. That's why. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see if it works or not. Most probably, I have a feeling. Let me connect from a fresh wallet. Refresh. Connect. Okay, there you go. Disconnect. Select wallet. Phantom. Connect. Connect. There you go. So what did I do again? Number one, I went to this page, clicked on connect. Let me do it for a fresh wallet. This is what some of you might be seeing on your side. Select a fresh wallet over here. Let me create a fresh wallet only. Plus, sorry about that. Create a fresh wallet. Call it account 13. Refresh. Click on select wallet. Select which one of these wallets you need. Let's say Phantom. Click on connect. That will show this pop-up that the user can use to connect. This happens for me because I did not add. I removed auto connect from here. I removed auto connect from here. If you add auto connect over here, it will automatically ask for a pop-up. That is why I was a little confused. Let me do it one more time. Let me create a fresh wallet. Let me refresh, select wallet, select Phantom. Automatically this pop-up came. What is Phantom telling you? Phantom is saying confirming will allow this site to view balances and activity for the selected account. ये कह रहे देखो अभी तक तो I haven't given this website any permissions. Are you sure you want to connect? This could be a shady website. Phantom is giving me a pop-up and telling me, are you sure you want to connect to this website? They might be doing something shady, so you have to make sure. It is giving you all the power basically. Until I click on connect, this website gets nothing. It does not get my public key, it does not get my private key. Everything is hidden. Only Phantom has it. If I click on connect, then my public key this website has. Now I can use this public key to request for some airdrop for the user. So that is the next step. You can show the user their balances. You can show the user their public key. How can you do that? Go to the airdrop component. And here we will now use something called hooks in React. Some people might already know this. Some people might not. But basically, the thing that I was saying, this will provide you a wallet. This will provide you a connection. That is what we're going to use here. We're going to write const wallet equal to use wallet. I repeat, what am I writing? Const wallet equal to use wallet. This is what is called a hook in React. And specifically, this use wallet hook will give me access to this object, which has, the user's, let's say, public key. If I type alert wallet.public_key.toString, then you will see my public key gets alerted over here. Kya code likha maine? I wrote this code over here. It gave me access to the user's public key. If I want, I can also put this public key on the screen somewhere. I can write, hi, Mr. or whatever, Mrs. wallet.public_key.toString. Now, the people who don't know React, this opening brace and closing brace is just a way for me to render some JavaScript variable on HTML. That is one thing React lets you do. It is rendering this JavaScript variable over here in HTML. So now my dApp, my decentralized app, is greeting the user. It is able to get the user's public key. How? Using this wallet object. How did the wallet object provide you this? Because you use the wallet provider over here. It provided you to a wallet over here. The reason we wrapped airdrop inside the wallet provider is so that inside airdrop, we can use the wallet variable. I can use the wallet variable inside airdrop because I provided it from here. That is the whole point of providers and context API. Okay, it lets you provide variables throughout your application. This use wallet hook provides this wallet variable. Let me write this down so that you know what all is happening and what all you can read about after the class if you don't know React. The use wallet hook. So the first thing you have to learn is hook. Provides. The second thing you have to learn about is providers. The wallet variable inside the airdrop component. The use wallet hook provides the wallet variable inside the airdrop component. Because I wrapped the airdrop component inside the wallet provider. Okay. Try to read some of this after the class if you don't know React, and we'll eventually be learning React anyways. Okay. What's the last thing that is left? Last thing that is left is writing our function that actually sends a request. So when the user clicks on a button, what do I want? Button on click equal to, I want a function to be called when the user clicks on a button. Let me call that function send airdrop to user. Now again, this is a little different in React and HTML. In React, this is how you call a function on click. You do not do this. If you might remember in JavaScript, we did this. In raw HTML, we did this. In React, you call a function when the button is clicked by doing this. On click with a capital C equal to brace open, send airdrop to user, brace close. Okay? Something just memorize for now and eventually happy to dive deeper into why the syntax is different here. define the function inside the component body. I repeat, define the function inside the component body. And यहाँ पे we'll be doing a wallet.request, or we might have to do a connection equal to use connection dot request airdrop wallet dot public key, and the amount is what appears over there. Let's say let's hard code it to 10 for now. This is the code that I have written until now. Let me recap it one more time. We had already written the airdrop component. It would return some random HTML like this. What did I do? I used the wallet variable. I used the connection variable. What was the other thing over here? Connection provider. It provides you a connection to the RPC. I got this connection variable using this use connection hook. Wallet variable using the wallet hook. Use wallet hook. Used the connection variable here to call the request airdrop function on this public key, इसी user की public key पे. And this is the amount. This amount needs to come from here actually. This amount needs to come from that input box. But first let me debug this. Cannot to say. Acha, I know what the issue is. Let me remove this hi there. Okay? Remove that greeting that we had. I'll come to later why. Removed the greeting that we had over here. Code में क्या लिखा है कि when the user clicks on this button, this should get called. Is this getting called? Let's see. Let's add an alert over here. What am I seeing? When I click on this button, does this function get called? Alert तो आ रहा है. So that means this function does get called. Now, why did I define this function inside this function? Why is this function not defined outside is a different question we will get to. यहाँ तक control आ रहा है. तो can I call this function next? Connection dot request airdrop. This needs to be an async function. Alert airdropped sol. This should send the user 10 sol, or how much sol? Can you guess? Will this send the user 10 sol? No, it will send the user 0.000000001 sol. What did we say? The second variable here is, if I go to the request airdrop function, this is the number of lamp ports you want to send. How did I go here? I hovered over this, pressed command tab. It showed me first variable is where do you want to send the money. Second variable is how much lamp ports you want to send. What is a single lamp port? 1 divided by 10 raised to the power 9. So, यहाँ पे if I write 10 raised to the power 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, then 1 sol will reach the user. Now let's see does that happen or not. How much balance do I have right now? How much balance do I have? I have 0 sol on this wallet. It's a fresh wallet. Let me click on send airdrop. Let's see if we have any error in the console. We do have an error. What does it say? Server responded with 429. Let me click on it again. Server responded with 429. Let me go to the network tab. We have done HTTP a little bit. What does it say? Status code 429. Status code 429. What is status code 429? Do you remember? We did last week, there are status codes. What is 429 status code? Too many requests. DevNet is saying, yeah, you have sent me too many requests specifically for airdropping. So I cannot use this. This publicly available URL is anyways not for, production or testing. If you use this, very high probability you will get rate limited. Solana says, yeah, ये तो free का है ना. This is a free URL. Don't send us too many requests. Replace this with your own RPC server. So can I replace this with my own RPC next? How to do that? Go to Alchemy if you remember. There are many websites that provide you with an RPC URL. You can rent an RPC server over there. Let me go to Alchemy. If you remember from the first week or second week, we created our own app over here. And यहाँ पे, in this app, it'll give me this network section from where I can select a DevNet RPC URL. I'm just connecting not to the default RPC, but to the Solana RPC on DevNet, my own Solana server, basically my own Solana RPC server. If I replace this with this and now try, it'll work. Refresh. Let me click on this button. Now if you look at it, it says airdropped Sol. Alert did come. What does that mean? That means inside the airdrop component, this function was first awaited. Pehle this function got called, it got awaited, which means, it succeeded. And then I alerted airdropped Sol. If I go to the network tab, you will see the underlying RPC URL or RPC call returned a 200 status code. Where did the request go to? It went to my own RPC server. It returned a 200. If I open my wallet now, how much Sol do I have? It still says I have 0 Sol. We will wait for some time. Still says I have 0 Sol. Let me check on some provider. Maybe the wallet is a little slow. Let me go to explorer.solana.com. Let me paste my wallet address here. Let me go here. This also says I have no Solana, but it says account does not exist, means the same thing. But I am connected to mainnet. Let me connect to DevNet. And on DevNet, it says I have 1 Solana. I do have 1 Solana. Phantom is being a little slow. But if I wait for enough time, I will see 1 Sol here as well. DevNet. Yeah, Phantom hasn't cached my DevNet, Solana yet. Wait for some time, you will see 1 Solana here as well. I interviewed at Phantom, so I know they have like a very weird caching system for, showing Solana, and maybe it's just lagging behind for DevNet. Let me try 2 or 3 more times, but if I open the same thing in Backpack, I will most probably see 1 Sol. Backpack doesn't have a weird caching system. Let's wait one more time. There you go. Finally, it came. 1 Sol I see over here. Cool. Does my request DApp work? Have I been able to create a DApp? Yes. Is this very similar to Solana faucet that we saw? Yes. It's a little fancy. It doesn't let you specify the wallet address. It says, bhai, connect kar lo wallet. Connect the wallet. After you connect the wallet, you can airdrop yourself some Solana. Only thing that's left is making the amount configurable. There are better ways of doing that. The easiest way is this. Okay, give this an ID. Let's say, public key. And yahan pe, rather than sending this much money, send it. Document. Let me just create a separate variable. Const amount equal to document dot get element by ID public key dot value. And then amount into 10 raised to 9. Amount will be 1. If the user writes 1 over here, then we will send them 1 Sol. If the amount is 2, we will send them 2 Sol. Now, if I write, 2 over here and click on send airdrop, I will request for 2 Solana worth of airdrop. It says airdrop Sol. If I go to the Explorer again, I see 3 Sol over here. The amount went up. Let's do a poll. How many of us understand this? Do we understand the airdropping assignment, the very first one, how to create our own airdropping DApp? Sort of. Not bad, वैसे. 87% is great. थोड़ा जल्दी खत्म कर दे तो आकाश. Wait for a few more people to vote. But let's see what time is it. It's 9:24. There are 2, 3. अभी फिर से कर दिया, कोई बात नहीं. Don't do it too much also. But let's see. Okay, 85% understand. Let's wait for a little bit more. 83% understand it. I will do doubt session afterwards. 82%. So here we will pause it here. There were a few more assignments, some really hard ones here, some okay ones from here to here, showing the user a balance. Let me just show you the final products and feel free to write the code yourself. I will do a offline video where I cover all of these. This one should show the user their balance like this. Very similar to Tensor. If I went to Tensor, if you remember, when I went to Tensor and connected my wallet, it showed me my balance over here. So, show the user that balance. That is the second assignment. The third assignment is asking the user to sign a message. This is an important use case of, signing messages. If you remember, initially we said there is a public private key pair, and, if this is, some message, let's say attack Pluto, that a government wants to send, then they will sign this using their private key. They will sign this message that literally says this thing, and this will spit out some random gibberish, which you can decode using their public key. If you remember, we talked about this a while back. Public private key pairs mein, you can do this. If someone has a private key, they can sign a random message like this and share it with the world, and then the world can verify using their public key कि हाँ, this message indeed came from the, let's say, US government. It has not been tampered with. So as long as we are sure that this public key is of the US government, we receive this message, we can decode or verify this message कि हाँ भाई, the government has indeed said attack Pluto. This signing of messages is something you can do in Solana or any blockchain, and it becomes useful to prove ownership of a wallet to a centralized backend. Don't worry about this. I will cover this in an offline video, but even on Tensor, you will see that whenever I'm doing blockchain stuff, whenever I'm, on this page trying to buy a Mad Lad, then though it doesn't ask me to sign a message. But if I go to the rewards page, which is, how much rewards do I have? How much Tensor rewards do I have? Then it asks me to authenticate. Why does this happen? And why do you need it in this section, but not everywhere else? I'll cover in the offline video, but if you click on this, it'll pop up a message that says sign message. Signing a message does not involve gas fees or paying any Solana. It just asks me to sign this plain text message, authenticate wallet by signing the below, this ID over here. We'll understand why do you have to do that and how can you ask the user to sign a message like this. That's the second assignment, signing a message. Then the third assignment is sending a transaction. That is the real thing. Again, I don't have a screenshot here, but that is the real thing you want a dApp to do, right? A decentralized app like Tensor takes away some of my soul, gives me a Mad Lad. It takes away my Mad Lad, gives me some soul. When we went to Uniswap, I converted, send them some Ethereum, got back some USDC. So they should actually debit balances. How you do that? One of the use cases can be sending someone else Solana. That is what will be covered here. And then eventually the assignments were, show the user their token balances. Okay, when the user comes on their website or on your website, don't show them this, show them all their tokens that they have as well. And then, let the user transfer tokens. Abhi tak in the assignments above, we will show how you can implement the send feature for Solana. And it's a little different how to do that using, the other tokens. That is what this assignment was. And there's a very hard assignment if you want to pick it up. I created a YouTube video yesterday where I wanted to add payments. Go to the video. I explain over there what that is. If you want to try that, you can do that on this repository. This one will have a decent bounty. If you want to try, it already has. After the class, I'll review some of these as well. I'll stay on the call, don't worry. And if you want, you can add this, add payments to this website. Basically, this is a website that looks like this, where you can go and, vote for songs that a creator should play on their stream. For example, this is the currently playing song, this is the next song, this is the next song, and most upvoted one comes over here. The feature is, if someone wants to come, someone will come over here and pay. They will pay one soul, and their song will begin to get played on the YouTuber's live stream. You should go to my latest video and figure that out. These are the assignments for this week. Almost all of these minus this, I will cover in the offline video. Okay, that is all for today. What was the goal? Let me recap. The goal was to understand how can you create your dApp. Why? Because most of the value that accrues is on an app. Creating a wallet is a very hard problem. Already winners out there. dApp is something new that keeps on happening. For example, Pump became a very, this is also a dApp, even though, this is a very dApp, very low attention span dApp. And this is doing really well on Solana. They made some 100 mil or something in 3 months, 3 people team. Yikes. It lets you launch token and, buy tokens, things like these. So these are the type of dApps you might be creating in the future. In the end, these dApps ask for approval from a wallet. That is what we tried to understand today. The use case that we were sort of able to build was airdropping. The other use cases are assignments. With that, I'm going to do a doubt session. And after the doubt session, maybe 30 minutes of doubt session, then we will review some pull requests or do something else, whatever. 30 minutes, let's do some doubt session. I'm going to open chat only. You can ask there. If you understood everything, feel free to drop off as well. Thank you, everyone. I will see you next week. Let's do some doubt sessions. And if you can, please do the assignments and, tag me if you do. We'll go from there. All right. Can you explain how stock market works in crypto? Market is always open, but in stocks, the market open for limited time only. By the way, what happens to your USD in the wallet someone got? that wallet had a different owner. The token program didn't, the system program did not own it. Think of it like a program that doesn't have a private key, or an account that doesn't have a private key. I'll do a detailed video on it. There are two hacks I want to do a detailed video on. One, that one, or what's felt like a hack but wasn't a hack. And the other one, my phone isn't here, but someone on YouTube on my videos is doing a hack. They are writing this, I have the screenshot of that specific comment. The comment says, "Hey, great video, but I have a doubt. I have 200 USDT in my wallet." And then they have their seed phrase here, whatever their, wallet seed phrase is. My, chair, room, their 12-word seed phrase. How can I get it? This happens on Twitter. This happens on, people will DM you with something like this. They will give you their seed phrase. You will open their seed phrase in Phantom. You will see they have 200 USDC there. But this is also a hack. How this works is it only has USDC, does not have the native token like Ethereum or Sol. So you have to send it some Sol first. You send them, whatever, 0.001 Sol for gas. And they just snipe that Sol from you. That is one hack. The other thing that we thought last time was a hack was, something else. So I'll cover those in a video. But why are you importing use wallet from @Solana in the airdrop component? That can be done without the provider. But why are we importing use wallet? What can be done without the provider? You are saying, Harkirat, why are you using this use wallet? Okay, Karana. Why are we importing use wallet from @Solana in the airdrop component, right? But you are importing this thing in the airdrop. That can be done with, that might be able to be done. That totally might be able to be done without the provider. Let's remove that. Let's remove the wallet provider from here. That was just my guess based on the name. Okay, if you want to use this hook, most probably you do need it, because if you go here, it uses this wallet context, which most probably is what this wallet provider provides. Yeah, I don't think you can. If you look at it, this wallet, sorry, you're right. It isn't the wallet provider. It is the wallet model provider that provides. Now let's see, wallet provider. Let's go down. Wallet provider base. Yeah, basically one of these. Let's try that out. Maybe it's the wallet model provider. This provides the wallet model context. And what does use wallet use? It uses the wallet context. Question is, iska jo provider hai, wo kahan use ho raha hai? So if you know contexts, this use wallet uses the wallet context. So whoever provides the wallet context, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, it could be either one of these three. Whoever provides the wallet context. For example, if you look at the wallet model provider, you will see it provides the wallet model context. So my guess is this wallet provider, somewhere in their component chain, provides this wallet context, that you need to be able to use this use wallet hook. What your question was, you said, Kiar, if you don't do the wallet provider here, let's see. If I don't use the wallet provider, you said use wallet hook still works. Let's see. Let me go to localhost :5173. And you are right, it does work. No, it does not work. Hey, you have tried to read wallet on a wallet context without providing one. If you try to use the use wallet hook without providing the wallet provider, or without using the wallet provider here, it gives you an error that clearly says you have tried to read the wallet on a wallet context without providing one. So you have to first provide it over here. Only then can you use the use wallet hook. Cool. Alrighty. In India, you cannot transfer crypto to private account. Only how to transfer to your private account. In India, you cannot. You answered your own question. You cannot. There is no way you can go to Dubai and do it. You can do P2P. If you use an exchange, any exchange that is allowing you to withdraw is not following India rules. India mein, you can't truly buy crypto and withdraw it to your own wallet from INR. Indian government does not allow it. Why? Because when everyone will buy crypto, INR's value will depreciate very quickly. India puts a lot of restrictions for you to buy US dollars. If everyone starts to buy USDC, then the Indian currency will go down very quickly, which is why they don't allow this. Rust when? Next week, YouTube video coming. Almost committing this time. Slides are ready, hopefully, but most probably pakka. The Bangalore meetup video, which doesn't cover too much, will probably come, in a day or two. On the 100x Dev channel. The complete Rust bootcamp on YouTube will probably come next week. But okay, answer that. Someone added something. Can you explain more how to extract metadata token logo from a token? I'm able to fetch mint address and the balances of a token. Yes. Metadata on the Solana blockchain of a token is very weird. I repeat, metadata, or whatever you see. Let me open that wallet of mine. If you look at these wallets, some of these say unknown token. These don't have any metadata. This one says 100xx token has a cat image. This has some metadata. Extracting this metadata on Solana is very weird. Why? Because the way Solana token program was built, the original one, it did not have any metadata concept with it. They said, "यार हम तो token program है. We are a token program. We don't care about things like the name of the token or the, this is the name of the token, this is the ticker of the token, the image of the token." They said, "हम नहीं देखेंगे. We won't see this." They just released the token program. And eventually a company called Metaplex came, if you've heard of them. They raised like 50 million or something like that. And they said, we will handle all the metadata part. They released a few contracts, and if you had a token, you could create a PDA on top of this token, which had a metadata URL, which had your real metadata in JSON. This was a very complicated way to store metadata of a token, but this is how it was followed for, a lot of time. This will have your image, which will be the cat.png, and your ticker, which will whatever be, let's say 100x token or 100x, so on and so forth. Now the token 20. So the problem here that came was Metaplex started to introduce some, since they owned this, they could introduce 1% fees for every transfer, or NFTs. They try to do something like this. There's a lot of, it was a very hard business building something like Metaplex, because this is not the Solana blockchain. They are owning such a core thing, so they can introduce any sort of a fees in the future, take that away or whatever. So a lot of other metadata implementations came. Someone else said, if you want to use metadata, this is the PDA that you can use, which will have the metadata URL, everything else is the same. So eventually, Solana has formalized this in the token 2022 program. Here you can use Metaplex if you want. You can use, Solana natively also lets you do something similar to what Metaplex lets you do. This is, I would assume, where everyone would eventually move. And this makes it very easy to create metadata and fetch metadata. If you want to do it using Metaplex, you can use a few libraries. Just go to their, Metaplex JavaScript SDK, and it'll let you, given a token, it'll let you extract. Given a mint account, I repeat, given a mint, if you've done this video, the last video, given a mint account, it'll give you all the metadata that's stored over here. It'll also extract from the JSON and give you, the exact image and the exact ticker. Or it'll give you the URL that you can, then hit the, I'm confusing a little too much, but I know this very well because I did this here in Backpack or in Phantom when you go. The way this image comes over here, it goes through a lot of steps. You first have the mint account, from which you get the Metaplex account, from which you get the JSON that might be on s3.aws.com/token.json. You have to fetch this and then extract the image from here, return it to the user. Let me see if it's still there, but let me show you. It most probably won't be there because this now doesn't have the backend code and only the wallet code. Yeah, it's not here, but there was it might be a fork that we have. Let me quickly show you. 100x devs cohort 2. Cohort 1, 100x devs cohort 1 assignments. I'm trying to find an old fork of Backpack, जहाँ पे I can show you this exact code that did metadata extraction. There you go. Backend workers. RPC auth avatar. This one. This doesn't have that code. इसके बाद आया था वो. It came after this, but before the repo went public. Let me still try to. I think it's in the cohort 1 repositories somewhere. We had a fork. Let me quickly try that. If not, yeah, I will proceed. But that has all the code that did. No, it doesn't. It's not here. That, you know, there was a way to do this when you were using Metaplex, but now that there is this token 22 program, it's much easier to do. If you can find a fork of Backpack somewhere, I can point you to it. It was here. You know, in the backend / workers, we had a worker, which is, you know, a Cloudflare worker that would, through which every request to get the tokens was routed. And here there was the code that would actually, you know, hit Metaplex, get the metadata count, hit S3, get the JSON, and then, you know, cache it. But yeah, I'm explaining too much here. If you find a fork of Backpack that has that code, I can take you through it, or, you know, at least point you to it. All right. Notion doc in India. Okay, answer that. I was going through the Solana docs. There is the token account and ATA mentioned differently and created with different syntax serve the same function. What are they? I was going through the token Solana docs. Can you point me to the exact doc? The token account and ATA were mentioned differently and created with different syntax. Can you point me to the same syntax? Most probably one of them might be the mint account, one of them might be the ATA. The associated token account is created across all token programs using the same syntax. And it also might be there are like many ways to do the same thing under the hood. For example, here I did connection.request airdrop. I could have done a wallet. This is a specific thing that's not on the wallet object, but in the future you will see, you know, you can send transaction using this connection object. You can also send transaction using this wallet object. Under the hood, they both do the same thing. You know, this makes it sign it using a different private key. This makes it sign it using your wallet. So there are a lot of functions that under the hood, if you go to the function body, they're doing the same thing only. So that might be the case for those two functions. So Harsh Walia, hope that your question is answered. If not, post another thing. And if you can find the Backpack code, I'm asking too much of you here. But, you know, there was this code that I could have just pointed you to. But you use one of these Metaplex APIs that, you know, that's what we used also under the hood. All right. I have a wallet adapter in my token launchpad website. Please have a look. Is it the same? Let's see. Connect. Where is looks the same. UI wise connector. Yeah, it's the same. Most probably you have the same wallet adapter, the same UI. And good work. Airdrop assignment someone created and deployed. Very cool work कर रहा है. अभी 24 hour time लगेगा. हाँ तो वही है. Someone created this. Looks very similar to Soul Faucet. Only lets you connect your wallet, which is pretty good. So connect wallet. Puts your key over here and you can request some on DevNet. I don't know if that succeeded or not, but good work. Great. Sir, are we building the project for this hackathon in which we are integrating various decentralized functionalities, including wallet connections, NFT galleries, activity feeds for broadcasting transactions, and blog integration? We are using Solana for everything except the NFT gallery. What do you mean you're not using Solana for an NFT gallery? You are getting the NFTs from Ethereum? Or do you mean you're not using the web3.js library, you're using some API? We are facing technical difficulties on NFT fetching, but we're able to do it for Ethereum. Just remove the NFT functionality rather than building it for Ethereum. There's no bonus points for building anything on Ethereum for the Solana hackathon, unfortunately. So yeah, how do you use this with Code Wallet? That's a great question. How do you use this with? I don't have mine here. Cool wallets. These wallets have Code Wallet integration. So when you click on add, it says connect your hardware wallet. It lets you connect your ledger. In fact, this MetaMask wallet that you saw that has 10 ETH is actually my ledger. It says ledger 1 over here. So isme, when I was asking for a transaction also, when I clicked on the swap button, you will notice it says the confirm button is blurred because it says be sure your ledger is plugged in. So I have to plug in my ledger. I have to start the Ethereum app there. Only then, you know, this confirm button will become available. When I click on the confirm button, my ledger will show me a pop-up. I can, you know, approve that and then I can use this. That's how you use MetaMask with the ledger, or, you know, Phantom with the ledger, or even Backpack with the ledger. All of these, whenever you're creating a new account, they will ask you, how do you want to create a new account? You can select your, you know, hardware wallet over here. Connect. Now my ledger isn't connected. If it was connected, it would show me my ledger over here. I would click on my ledger, click on connect. It would connect my ledger. I can see the ledger details here. I can view it. But if I ever want to sign a transaction, if I ever want to go to Uniswap and do this, it will ask me कि भाई पहले अपना ledger connect करो. Connect your ledger. When I click on the confirm button, it will show me a pop-up on ledger. I'll go from there. So all these wallets support hardware wallets, all right. Like all these phantom wallet kind of wallets support hardware. All right, question, chat is open. Okay, pause. Are all tokens stored in ATA? Your token balances are stored in associated token accounts. That is correct. All of your token balances, if I have 10 different tokens over here, or so many of these tokens, each one of my balances is stored in my associated token account for that token. How Uniswap provides liquidity to its user. Example, I want to swap my Sol and buy ETH, but I don't have anyone who wants Sol. Exactly. So the way Uniswap, Jupiter, these are not Jupiter, like the actual Orca provide liquidity is by using something called AMMs, or automated market makers. You basically have people on both the sides. You have people who put up Ethereum, people who put up USDC in a very big, what's called a liquidity pool. And then whenever you ask for something, the liquidity moves a bit. The number of Solana goes up in the pool, number of USDC goes down, and the price of Solana changes that way. I have a video on YouTube, how to create a decentralized exchange in Node.js that covers this. I mean, it's covers in the algorithm in Node.js, doesn't cover how to do it on Ethereum, but the way liquidity is provided is all of these, providers have, these liquidity pools through. This most probably might be how you create a position, how you add liquidity. So here it says, what pair do you want to provide liquidity for? I can select, Ethereum USDC. I can select Ethereum USDC. Then I can, put some Ethereum and put some USDC in the pool. When I do that, I become one of the market makers on this platform. And anytime there's a swap, I get some fees proportionate to how much, ETH and USDC I've put up. All right. Okay, I will see this later on. Seems important, but not too important. What is the difference between DevNet and DevNet? What can we do on DevNet and we can't use testnet? I have no idea if there's something you can do on DevNet and non-testnet. My guess is no one uses testnet. I've never used testnet. It's just a third network that is available. My guess is it is just like dev and staging. Ek pe things get deployed immediately. Ek pe, after they've been tested in testnet, they get deployed on DevNet. That is my guess, but there might be a very big difference. I don't know if there's a big difference. Do you ever use testnet? Not really. You always use DevNet for testing, prod for mainnet for productionizing. Solana has 3 types of addresses and ETH has 2 addresses. Why like that can manage with 2 addresses? I mean, users only manage that associated token address. Why like that can manage with 2 address? I mean, if user address only can have, I'm assuming you mean over here, okay, in Solana, there are 3 types of addresses for a token. Is that what you mean? Okay, when you want to create a token, you have your own wallet address, you have the mint address, you have the associated token address. Is that what you mean? Just change this question over here and then I'll answer this. How do you add metadata to the token program or any reference? Not for token 22. Not for token 22. You have to use metadata, Metaplex. There are other ways, but Metaplex is the popular one. Just use, Metaplex has, as I said, Metaplex, add token metadata. They will have some JavaScript library over here that you can use to, attach metadata to, something like this. This is for creating NFT, but you can do the same for a fungible token as well. You can just call a function on, on a library over here from this @Metaplex Foundation, where you have to give the mint address, the name of your NFT, the ticker, and all of your metadata over here. The real metadata is stored, in a very big JSON blob. If you remember from last week, the place where we were storing our metadata was this very big JSON file. This one right here. Where we said the name of this token is X, symbol is this thing, image is this thing, and this is how the cat image eventually reached Phantom over here. So just call a function on this Metaplex Foundation. How does that work under the hood? What happens when you call this function? As I said, there is a metadata account that gets created. Just like if you remember from last week, just like this is the mint of the token on which, let's see, this was the token program. If you remember from last week, this was the token program, which would, let's say for some token like USDC, first create a mint. create this mint account, from which for every user you would create their ATA, their associated token account. Similarly, for every mint, you can create a metadata account where this .json file is hosted, which is basically means you have the URL stored on chain, but the actual data is stored off chain, in S3 or in Arweave or in IPFS, where the actual metadata is stored. You don't store the real, URL, this whole thing on chain. You just store a JSON file ka link, and this JSON file ka links with all the actual metadata is stored. So this is how you attach metadata, or used to attach metadata in the original token account. You used to use Metaplex, that became the standard for metadata, but now there are many standards, and token 2022 mein, you can use any one of these standards. All right, going back to the questions. Token program is a factory contract. What do you mean by factory contract? It is not an internal contract, but it is maintained and deployed by the Solana Foundation. Can we create one blockchain where we can support Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and many more other networks in one blockchain? So we can transfer native token from one network to another. So if you create a blockchain that does this, it will never have native Sol in there. It will never have native ETH in here. This sort of already happens with protocols like Wormhole, this is the ETH blockchain, and this maintains the Ethereum balance of all the users. Then this is the Solana blockchain. It maintains the Sol balances of every user. And you can create a third blockchain, but what will happen is you can't transfer real Ethereum from here to here. Ethereum protocol doesn't let you pull Ethereum outside the protocol. What you can do, and the way that these protocols like Wormhole work, is you can lock some Ethereum over here. Ethereum is actually held by a different token on this other blockchain. That is how you can move Solana from Sol to ETH. You don't really move the thing. You lock, let's say 20 tokens of Solana ETH over here. 20 ETH is locked over here in some contract, and on the other side some new token is minted, some random new token is minted, which people assume. Let's say, for example, the Wormhole ETH. On this new blockchain, you can mint a new token called WETH, or Wormhole ETH, and you can trade this independently. The fastest way to trade Ethereum, sell Ethereum, buy Ethereum is bridge your Ethereum over to Sol. What does bridging mean? कि यहाँ पे आपका Sol lock हो जाएगा in a contract. Your Sol will get locked over here in a contract. Some new token will be using the normal token 2022 program or token program only. Some new W Sol, Wormhole Sol, or B ETH, or W ETH, wrapped ETH, or bridged ETH. New token will be moved over here. Now trade it as much as possible, and whenever you want, you can burn the ETH over here and redeem back the Ethereum over here. This is Wormhole had a 340 million or 240 million dollar attack. वहाँ पे यही हुआ था कि this bridge was hacked. You could mint more and more of this BETH somehow, because this BETH isn't a real token. It is a normal random token on the Solana blockchain. Someone was able to mint a lot of these. Then they burnt a lot of these and redeemed all the Ethereum over here, moved them to their contract. That is how 340 million were, Wormhole was hacked once for 340 million. This is how the hack had happened. Okay, the real Ethereum, they weren't able to steal first. They were able to mint a lot of this random ETH, that bridged ETH token, because it's just a random token. Their contract that would let you mint BETH was, erroneous or, vulnerable. So they minted a lot of BETH, moved it over here, or, burnt it over here, that let them redeem it over here and, hacked the Wormhole blockchain. All right. Hacked the bridge, Wormhole bridge. All right. You had more questions. So that is how you move contracts, move assets from one wallet to another. You don't really move them. You lock them on one side and create a new token on the other side. I'm finding it hard to contribute to open source projects as backend dev. Any guidance, standard advice? You either have a knowledge gap, or you're not able to find the right organization, or you're in the wrong tech stack. For example, unless you know very well TypeScript, you will not be able to contribute to cal.com, for example. The code base is very, call it advanced, call it very big also. It's not very big also. So, it's either you don't have enough knowledge to be able to contribute yet. You've created a very basic MERN stack application in JavaScript. Then you will be able to contribute to this, for example. If you go through a MERN stack video very quickly and understand MongoDB, then you can do this, because this is written in JavaScript, and this also and this uses MongoDB, but this also has so many folders. You'll get overwhelmed very quickly. So just build a lot of very professional projects and then maybe get in. That's the only advice. I'm concerned the account might be fake. Can you check? This is the link. I received a message from some guy who shared a Bitbucket repo and made some updates. What do you mean? It's legit or not? Yeah, I don't know. Let's read through their code base. It's very hard to. Are you saying they asked you to pull this code locally, and you're worried it does something shady? It might. I don't know. We'll have to go through the code base and see. Yeah, I have no idea. I'll have to run the code base. I wouldn't run this code base locally. Run it on some AWS server, see what it does, and go from there. npm start. Looks okay only. I don't see anything shady here, but you never know. So in crypto, you never know. Don't run untrusted code on your machine. All right. Next week, small blockchain company wasn't very educational. I'm looking to join a team where I can grow fast. There are teams that grow very fast, but you need to be really good to join them. I have 2 years of experience in Node.js already. I have deployed years in content production. I'm currently learning Rust and React. Yeah, I mean, everyone wants to work. That's the dream, right? I also want to work at OpenAI. But, in these companies specifically, you really need to provide a lot of value to be able to get in. That's the only advice from being honest. Find something you're really good at that these companies need and get in. All right. Almost at 10 here. Let me answer a few more questions. I don't have wallets. How can I do this? You can create wallets on DevNet. Install Phantom. You can put as many wallets in there if you want. Go through the initial videos. We've taken you through how you can install a wallet like this. You don't need any real soul. We're doing everything on DevNet. It'll work. What is your thoughts on multi-sig escrow contracts in Sol ETH and use case in the real world? It is a decent use case. I don't know about escrow, but generally multi-sigs are a very good business. The thing that got hacked in WazirX is also multi-sig only, right? Squads on Sol, from what I know, is doing fairly well. So you sell to institutional or enterprises in that case. It's a decent business. I don't know what you mean by multi-sig escrow accounts. I would assume you mean an escrow account that needs to be signed by multiple people. I can't think of a use case right now. Multi-sigs, I can think of a few use cases. One of them being exchanges or big companies, enterprises who want to hold Solana but are very worried how will they hold. You sell to them. Have you staked on Lido? Very little. How much ARR do you get? I have never checked. I think it's been a year since I put 2 Ethereum in Lido Sol. And how much do I have right now? Etherscan. Just for testing, I put 2 ETH there, and now I have 2.12 ETH. So 12%. That's not too bad. Oh, sorry, 6%. What am I saying? 6%. Almost a year it's been. 6%. Far off topic. What are your thoughts on this? A new crypto protocol which offers secrecy. It's great. There's a lot of volumes on blockchains that have secrecy. Monero is one. Once one of my friend's company got hacked, so he does not hold any crypto. So he came to me, you need to send some money to this, person. They gave him a Monero account. I did not have money on Monero either. But hackers use this a lot. That's the use case. Probably not one you might want to build eventually. When you become big is when your downfall begins. Just like what happened with Telegram. Okay, it's a great idea. Will get adopted. Will get volumes, but who you are serving. The government will eventually come after you. Good use case to build journey. But same happened with Tornado, right? What is this? Just look at the contents. Insights. Why is HTTPS not required on an Onion website? I have no idea. I've used them, but I have no idea about this. That's a good question. I did not even know HTTPS is not required on Onion websites. I have no idea. This specific thing I have no idea about. I have used very little when I was doing some shady thing in crypto only is when I used what is that called, Tor. But even there, I never went to Onion website. Actually, I've never gone to any website on the dark web. That's a good video. It does very well. So maybe we should do it. And when I go there, I can. Even then, I don't know if I'll be able to answer this question. But I've never gone to an Onion website, so I don't know whether or not it uses TLS or why it does not use HTTPS. All right. Few more Notion docs. We'll start from the top. I don't have these. Okay. As I said, you can create wallets for free. Just go to one of our existing videos. We have discussed how you can use Phantom to create a wallet. That wallet in your stream was not owned by the system program. So even if you have the seed phrase, you won't be able to transfer SOL exactly to the person who owns it. And how to make transaction yes, it was owned by a different account. Your question is, how can you move that money out? Whoever owns it can move that money out. Eventually, when we'll be creating PDAs or programmed derived accounts, there also you will see those wallets don't even have a private key, but still you can move funds from them because they're owned by a different program. System program is the program that owns most of the wallets or most of the addresses. System program lets you move credit from one place, debit to the other place. But if some other account owns another wallet, that wallet can be debited and credited by the account who owns it. PDAs are almost exactly this only. Sir, we are building GitHub dispenser project. Looks good. Notion doc. I'm working on Smart India Hackathon. Provide idea. Any ideas? No ideas. Yeah, all the best for Smart India Hackathon or whoever is, participating. What is it written? Provide ideas in a decentralized distributed ledger. Sure, sounds like a very futuristic sort of idea. Build it. Hi, I was thinking of building an app for Cohort to manage all doubts. Something where you can open a poll and everyone will answer doubts only once. All the doubts would have upvotes and most upvotes come to you and more features. That's not the worst idea in the world to build. Can you add crypto here? Whoever answers most of the questions of the people gets incentivized somehow. Maybe I'm thinking too deep. Maybe not needed. But yeah, good idea. Can the hackathon? Yeah, don't worry about it. I'm not looking at the solutions for another 2-3 days. So feel free to take until 2nd to make submissions. I'll increase the date. All right, more Notion docs. How account balance is stored on the blockchain? Is it feasible for nodes to store Lampord's width of all accounts? It is. That is exactly why, Solana has this rental model. Okay, of course, all nodes cannot store infinite data, which is why you put some money or put some SOL as rent whenever you want to put data on the blockchain. Storing balances is actually a much smaller problem. 20 million balances, 30 million balances, 50 million balances, you can easily store, on a machine. What becomes challenging is storing data, bytes and bytes of data, which is why, they have done the right math. If everyone starts to store data on Solana, even then they have enough space on that machine that, maximum amount of data that you can store based on, the amount of rent that you have to put up is enough on that machine. For the hackathon project, Decentralized Fiverr, if you want it to give us a short brief of wallets and payments, please brief about the part where we're stuck. It will be, so if you go to the assignments for today, you should have sort of enough knowledge to build this. Specifically, if you go here, sending Solana and understand this code, then you can understand how you can send Solana from one place to another. That is exactly what you need in Fiverr. Fiverr requires a lot of Web2 stuff, simple website where you can come find someone, message them. The difficult bit is sending someone Solana when you want them to do some job. So, this code over here shows you how to do that exactly. It doesn't show you how to verify it, which is, the next step. Okay, wo to bhej dega hum paise. How does your backend verify that the person who is wanting the service has paid the person who is giving the service? Which for the hackathon, feel free to ignore. We'll come to that eventually. But yeah, this much code will actually, at least for the demo, let you show how to transfer money from place 1 to place 2. All right. Can you I will try. Now that I'm home, it should be faster. Criteria, basically motivation, very close to getting a job, so that in 3 to 4 months they can be shoved to a job very quickly. If they know things, great. But most of the form has been filled by beginners. So the goal would be to teach them the right things very quickly and get them a job. So that's the criteria. Whoever we feel is motivated enough. But yeah, we focus more on Solana only. What about ETH? We'll be getting that in 2 weeks maybe. we have the hackathon, which is why I wanted to do this. I wasn't able to cover it as quickly as I wanted to. But hopefully the knowledge you have by now lets you submit something before second. Do you have Svelte? Will it replace React Native? I don't think so. I don't know. No idea. I don't think it will, but that's just my opinion. Can you upload the slides beforehand if possible? I can try. Today's slides were made 2 hours before the class started. So, if I'm able to do it, then yes. You can have testnet like 50 mil sol like this. Is this your local blockchain? Can a testnet have? Probably not. On DevNet, if you try to send yourself more than 10, 20 sol, it will probably tell you cannot. But on your local blockchain, you can do whatever you want. Alrighty. Don't have access to this one. Hackathon project. I saw this. Let's look at your screenshots. I saw the landing page only until now. I saw your tweet. Maintain a dashboard. Connect your wallet. Sign the message. Create bounties. Okay. Adding a bounty amount. Okay. And send bounty from here. Okay. You have the live link, so why not just try it? Yeah, let me connect this later. Yeah, I have a lot of repositories. I need to pick the right one, but let me keep this open so I know I do want to do this. Let me bookmark this. Even if this really does the thing, great. If it doesn't also, then if it's closed, it's great. Seems like it already does it, which would be beautiful. I would integrate this in a Jiffy as long as I can self-host. If you are storing private keys on a server, then we need to talk how you're storing them. But if not, if I can self-host my private key, there are a few ways. Even if that's not the case, I can put only 10 sol at a time and, dispense 10 sol, then 10 sol at a time, something like that. So it's fine. All right. This one we'll see later. This one we saw. This one let me bookmark. This hackathon. Heap memory ever. It ran out of deploying EC2 machine. What error do you see again? How is your machine really small? Are you building the code directly on your EC2 machine? If this is a React project, don't build it on the EC2 machine. Build it independently and then deploy it. If it is a React project, maybe just put it on S3 and not on an EC2 machine. If it's a Next.js project, then maybe just deploy it on Vercel, right? Don't use AWS. You're probably using a very small machine that is not able to handle building the project most probably, or you've written code in a way that's computationally too expensive, which is why it's taking a lot of space on your machine. Alrighty, cool guys. A lot of compute on your machine. Sorry, cool. Thank you guys. Any more questions? I'll do one small quick. Anything left? Anything else I can help with before we decide what to do next? Explain today's assignments again. Oh, thank you. This is what I was looking for. Thank you, sir. And you go to backend, you go to native. Workers, and here you will find most probably this RPC proxy, or is there NFT somewhere here? NFT data, there you go. This is what I was talking about. If you look over here, you will see anytime you try to get the details of, this is an XNFT. There you go. This endpoint was what I was talking about. Anytime you want to, this token or this NFT is storing their metadata on Metaplex. And this is the mint address. And then the way you get the image is, again, this function under the hood would probably, let's see. Where's this function? This function, if you look at it, number one, create this metadata account. So here you will need to know a little bit about PDAs, but if you remember the diagram from before, I don't know if you're still on the call, whoever wanted to ask this is what I said, right? Okay, for every mint account, there is an associated metadata account in Metaplex. And if you remember, the key that I put over here was metadata. And here, if you look at it, we say metadata account address. Address of this account right here is public key dot find program address sync. We'll come to what this is eventually, but this is how you find a PDA, a program derived address, metadata, token metadata program, and the mint address. Basically, when you join these three keys, the token metadata program ID, which is this thing right here, and the mint address and the metadata key. When you add these three, you get this account, this metadata account. And then this under the hood also again sends a request to another worker the RPC proxy worker, which as the name suggests is just a backpack proxy before you hit an RPC, gets back all the details of this metadata account. And then if you go back, you have all of that NFT detail. You have the image URL equal to NFT metadata dot external metadata. As I said, this has an external metadata, which, has this image key over here. I would have assumed this external metadata key also you will have to send a request. There you go. After you have this external metadata, you send another request to NFT metadata dot external metadata, which is, basically you send, this is the final URL, right? Where we were storing our metadata. That URL looked like this cdn.100xf.com/metadata.json. So you send a request there next, then you get back the response, and that response actually has the image. So let me just point you to this file. Oh, I was not sharing my screen, was I? What an idiot. I can't say this again. So it'll be in the recording. Thankfully, I was recording it locally. A long story short, someone provided me the code of Backpack repo from a few weeks ago. And here I was saying this specific, URL or this specific URL is how you get the metadata associated to a mint address. This is the mint address. This is the associated metadata. This is where the metadata is actually stored. So if you look at the code, it gets the metadata through this function. If you look at this function's body, you will see it somehow finds this address, hits this address, gets back the data. Once this has the data, iske andar there is this external metadata field. We then hit this external metadata using, this is similar to Axios or Fetch, sending, a request somewhere. And in this case, we send a request here, which is the actual underlying S3 URL, IPFS URL, RVV URL, or in our case, whatever this cdn.100xf.com URL is. From here, we get back the image. So let me paste the thing in chat again. Sorry about that. Screen wasn't sharing. That's my bad. Can you please explain today assignment? Yes. So thank you for posting this, by the way. And the assignment for today is, firstly, there are these so I will do in an offline video. So hopefully you understand it from there. But if you don't, or if you want to do them yourself, show the user the balance. Hopefully that is easy. Okay. When I go to Tensor and I connect my wallet, it shows me my balance over here in the top right in the app bar. So that is what I want. Sign a message. When I go to Tensor, don't worry about why this happens. But when I go to Tensor and go to the rewards section, it asks me after connecting my wallet. I repeat, even after connecting my wallet is, I'm logged in now. How do I log out? I logged in once, so it remembered, but let me log out and see if that changes it. Disconnect, connect, phantom, rewards. I'm logged in, but when I wasn't logged in, there was an authenticate button here. When I clicked on the authenticate button, it made me sign a message. So that was the second thing. Let me open it for another wallet. Then it will show me connect wallet. And it says authenticate to view your rewards. Now rewards is something that is stored in their centralized database, which is why I have to authenticate. When I click on verify wallet, it makes me sign a message. A message is different from a transaction. A transaction where you pay some gas fees, send it on the blockchain. A message you just sign locally, and then whoever wants to use that signature somewhere they can. In this case, as soon as I sign, they will send this request to a Tensor backend that will log me in. This is similar to logging in via Google, logging in via email password. We'll get to what this is, but this is what's called signing a message. That is what was asked over here. Signing a message, sending Solana, just like Phantom lets me send Solana, let the user send Solana. There's no screenshot here, but I'll add to the slides. And lastly, the main set of assignments. Show the user their token balances. Basically show the user something like, this, where they can see not just their Solana, but all the other tokens that they hold with their metadata. Just like, yahan pe Phantom mein I can see the tokens with their metadata. If you remember from a while back, I had this 100x token that I could see. So show the user something like this, all of their balances. Let the user send those tokens as well. Just like Phantom lets me send 100x token to someone else, your website should let you do the same. These are the two assignments. These are the things that you learn from it. Very hard assignment was, If you go to Muser, we built this on YouTube yesterday. Check out the video. There I explained why I think payments might be a nice use case. So create a PR for that. Maybe someone already created it. There's something else. I will go through these very soon. And if you want, I can review yours first as well. No, you're not dumb. These are things we haven't covered. Multisig, Lido, and it's fine if you don't know these. We haven't covered these yet. Some of these we will not cover. We'll probably not cover multisigs and Lido finance, but if you are in the ecosystem, you know these. If you actually have some Ethereum, hold some Ethereum, then you would worry about these. You will worry about getting a multisig or a hardware wallet. You would worry about, staking your ETH, which you do that using Lido. So don't worry if you don't understand it. It's fine. Today's class was V. V good or V bad? ये तो लिखा नहीं आपने. You just left V. All right. Cool. Let's review some pull requests, or we can do something else also. 15 more minutes we have. But yeah, last week offline I was trying to getting this error. Let's see. Are you running this or you are running this or? What are you running? Start this validator, ledger. Failed to start this thing. Checking unpack genesis. I have no idea what this error is. Have you? You have a balance. Yeah, I have no idea what this error is. I will have to Google just like you. So Google, I also tried delete test file ledger and running some commands against this. No idea what this error is. First time I'm seeing this. If you would have pasted text, I would just Googled this specific error and went from there as well. So maybe try sudo. I don't think that will fix it, but maybe try sudo. Sudo Solana test validator. And what was the other? All right, two more. This one makes me log in. This one is web-based wallet. Looks good. Transfer Sol, airdrop Sol transactions. Very good. Nice UI as well. Love it. Are you looking out? There is this company hiring for a React engineer. 50K a month internship for 6 months, then they will increase. They require some React Native also, but this looks pretty decent. Seems like you're good at this thing. There are two companies. One is only giving 20K. One is giving 50K. Or actually there's a range for the other one. But who is this guy again? Only this guy reply. Are you looking out? If yes, then Akash get in touch. Are you looking out? This person. Yes, if you are the person. MKLW03. Now a lot of people said yes, but can you just post your projects here? Whoever is saying yes, whoever is the best one, I'm happy to just connect. तो ये बंदा कौन है? This doesn't look great. I don't know what happened. Your website seems broken. This seems like a tweet. This also looks decent only. But again, that looked very good. Where did it go? Okay, what's the easiest way for you to reach me? Okay, if you ping at 100x devs Twitter, if with your projects, then we can go from there. This a few more projects, viral projects post.xyz, and then one more, and then this other person. Let's see. Yeah, this looks also decent. Why does everyone use this flare these days? What is happening? Yeah, this looks decent. Just send these projects to 100x devs in the next 1 hour, and then we'll pick one from there. And send your WhatsApp phone number, the best projects that you have built, front end primarily, and if you have built a React Native project, then almost obvious connect. So please just send these to 100x devs official Twitter today. We can go from there. Yeah, this is like a very small project to look at and understand, and very easy to build. So try something. Oh, this was someone's project. This is also pretty good. So okay, this is decent. Like good only. Okay, let's sign up. just if you have some React Native project built, no, or deployed, that would be a very easy connect. And this is also very good. Whoever has created this, UI looks decentish. They're not looking for too much. This also. So yeah, just ping on Twitter. We'll go from there. Cool. Let me go through a few PRs really quickly, in case you are thinking of contributing to Muser, and we can go from there. I'm not assigning bounties right now because we're just waiting for someone somehow to add the bounty connect. When one of these get lost, it's very hard to remember who paid how much or how much we owe people. When that happens is when I think Rakshit had created these. Let me start there. We can actually start assigning bounties from here and actually send them. Should I add a shuffle queue for creator? Not really. Let's see. Added a creator specific controls, implemented empty queue for creators. That is actually a great idea. Added confirmation dialog for emptying the queue. Creators can now remove individual songs from the queue. That's actually a great idea. Added they can only send 2 songs per 2 minutes, 5 songs in 10 minutes. That is good. Avoid duplicate songs for for the creator. That is good. These are exactly the things that we needed. All right, let's see. We have an empty queue route, which update many, set where played is set to false, set played to true, and play timestamp to this. That looks decent. Streams /remove /route.ts. This one empties the queue. This one removes a specific this thing. Remove schema.parse, and then delete the stream ID for this specific user. But you have not added over here also, I guess. No, that's fine. User ID. Yeah, this is right. I thought there's a bug, but there isn't. Security vulnerability. Basically, I thought anyone can send a request, but no, he has a check over here. Okay, basically, I thought anyone can send a request, but no, he has a check over here. Okay, delete the stream with this ID and this user ID. So you can only delete an empty queue on your own streams. This one is it gets the user's details, it trims the URL, and it checks whether or not it's an empty URL. Then it checks if it's an invalid URL. That was already happening. Made some changes there. Check if the user is not the creator. No, we should add that. We shouldn't add that. If the user is the creator, then also it should be allowed. User should be allowed to add to queue. If user.id is okay, 10 minutes ago, 2 minutes ago, recent streams, you're going to find many where user ID is this thing and created at store in the DB who added a song added by, and then check against that. Front end changes and a dialogue that was added. Cool. Yeah, not too many comments here, but yeah, this looks decent. Cool. Docker Compose, GitHub workflows. Not working for YT share options links. Sorry, feel free to drop also. I'm also happy to answer any other questions if someone has. Front end, name, best project, contact. These are the 3 things that you can add. And if you can add a React Native project as well, that would be even better. Fix the issue for working on videos which have this format. Oh, nice. Very well, very, very needed. Why are your changes so big, sir? Just, yeah, don't comment your package. Uncomment package, sorry. Remove package -lock. Added GitHub workflows. Yeah, not the worst thing to add. Build is an expensive task. I don't think this needed as a workflow. Not really. It's fine. Building and testing is good. It lets us know whether or not the project is being built after the changes, and if there is a bug, the user can catch it right there. So it's not the worst thing in the world to see. Bind user ID to use session. That was needed. Thank you, sir. That was very well needed. And you've done it the right way. Beautiful. Love it. You've added the type next auth ka session into. This is actually a cleaner way to do this than the way we have done it in CMS. In CMS, we have like, if you go to lib/auth/.ts, we create our own session type over here and override these variables. What you've done is globally overridden it, which is very good. Very cool, sir. And what changes did you make in auth.ts? Get the user, user returns. In the sign-in callback, if existing is returned true, okay, where are you? Okay, there you go. Get the user if not user session, else return this. Sounds good. This looks decent. This is exactly what was needed. Did you remove all the calls? There should be a follow-up on this one, but I will merge this as such as well. Use redirect. Where are you using this? Cool. I mean, this is good. But there were a few places where a to-do was mentioned. You can change those changes as well, those places as well. But this is good. Haven't tested it though. I should, but I'm merging it as is. And I really want to, for example, give like a 20. I'll give one, but it's like very hard to track these, which is why this money might not reach you. You might have to ping too much for it to come, which is why I'm just waiting for the GitHub dispenser to get attached, and when it does, I write this, money reaches you. We're almost there, by the way. If you go to app.100xapps.com, you now get an option to add your payout methods. So at the very least, put your Solana addresses here. There is an issue on CMS to let users attach their GitHub. Maybe someone has done it. We can review that as well. Make user 4 people have done it. This is good. You should just raise a PR. You shouldn't ask. Your UI looks good. Let's see if you did 132. Okay, the first person who commented their PR I'm looking at. Add your UPI, add this thing, link GitHub. When you click on this, only asks for very minimal things. That is great. And when you come back here, there you go. It is linked, and you click over here. Perfect. Exactly what we need. And changes also thankfully don't have log files. Added a migration that looks perfect. Why did you lint the whole file, sir? Not appreciated. Linting should be done in a separate change. This makes it very hard for me to review, and you might sneak in a change that I don't want, which is why you shouldn't do this. But let's see the actual change that you have made. Oh god, yeah. Probably on the users, this thing you have added GitHub user. Yeah, that looks right. Is this the only change in the file? Added a few these things. Added a get request handler that gets the session and gets a code. If not user, redirect them to a URL. What if not user, redirect them to a URL? What is this? GitHub callbacks. Okay, makes sense. The thing that comes from GitHub token response, or the endpoint that gets called back. GitHub to access token. You verify the token and get the token data, get the user response, store the user data in the database. GitHub link dot create with the user ID. Okay, so that isn't the only change here. You have another schema called GitHub link. There you go. Which is a one-to-many, I would assume. A single user can have multiple GitHub accounts. No, a single GitHub account. That looks fine. I'm just thinking of, this needs to be a very secure thing because if someone is able to link someone else's GitHub, they will start to get the bounties. So I was just thinking, does this endpoint need to be protected, or is there something missing here? If you have an array of GitHubs, then if someone does do that, then you have the track of who tried to do something shady. But yeah, chalo, this looks decent. This was the callback. This is an endpoint that returns you. Do you need to find many here? Doesn't really matter, but since it's a one-to-one relationship, find when would work. Doesn't really matter. I mean, it's fine. This is also fine. Another route, which is a get route handler, client ID equal to GitHub ID, redirect URL is this thing. Okay, this is where you send the URL, the user. That looks fine. And this is the UI changes on the payout method. Here also you have a lot of diff, unless you've already actually gotten rid of this code. Maybe that is the case. New component and then new payout dialog. Here also it's never mind. Yeah, it seems like you have a lot of diff here. No, actually you've changed this. You added things from ShatC, and I would assume looks good. Payment method card, new component. I think this is fine. There are two comments which can be ignored. I'm merging it, and the person who helped get the bounty, or eventually put in bounties, should get a bounty. I should test this. So let's see, how much was the effort? At least $75, I would say. These two are the only ones I'm assigning, so I'll just clear them right now only. But the rest, as soon as it gets merged, then we will assign. All right, 10:32. Let's call it here. I mean, I wanted to do more. I can do more also, but I see the number of people dropping. So anything you want to do next? Anything you want to discuss? Any questions? Just send your bye. Okay, we'll call it here. Let me do a poll only. Not that there are a lot of people left, but should we call it here? It seems like a lot of people are sticking around, but they want to sleep, but they don't want to miss either. Should we call it? Should we end the stream, guys? Should we call it a night? I'll also do something. Should we call it? Okay, it's a 50-50. Actually, people who want to quit the stream won 56%. So TK, we will call it here. I won't hold you guys too much. I will check bookmarks after the call. And again, just to recap, if you are a decent React developer, are okay with an internship for 6 months, which then may convert to full time, 20K to 50K based on which company we refer you to. And if you know React Native, please ping to 100x devs. We'll go from there. I will see you guys tomorrow. Web dev people, other people, I'll see you next week. Have a good night, guys.